Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to the show. Let's give it just a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Um, I am a big fan of books. I think I don't read as much as I used to, but there was a brother named Nathan McCall. Some of y'all might recall him, who was prolific many years ago, and he wrote a book titled "Makes Me Want to Holla." And it was an interesting read. It was a very interesting read, and I've never forgotten it. And from time to time, I do something called things that make me want to holler, and that's how I want to approach today's show. Three things that make me want to holler. I want to share with you this morning. Also, I want to talk more about an idea that we had. About doing an investment club. I want to talk about that and get the ball rolling on that this morning. Plus, I want to take your phone calls and your comments this morning on everything that we'll be discussing: people, politics, and pleasure. And it just won't be about politics. It's a Friday. Happy Friday to you. You already know my interests run the gamut. So let's give it a couple of minutes and like and share today's show so that everybody on Facebook and YouTube and wherever the world they may be can know that we're on this morning. So we'll give it about a minute, no more than a minute, and then we'll get the show started.
Nathan, 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 NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the tent place, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John will be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Red Tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Where my people at? Good morning to you. Welcome back. What a beautiful Friday, man. It's great to be alive. If you don't know it, Cincinnati Public Schools are closed today. Just an FYI for me to you, for people that matters to. If you're an empty nester, or you don't have any children, or you don't live in Cincinnati, then that doesn't really matter to you. I understand completely, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm working from home right now, like a lot of people are. I was working from home before COVID and all during COVID, but I love it when my children are home with me. I love it, man. Me and Junior will be playing swords in the snow. He got some toy swords for Christmas, and that means that Daddy has to play pirates with him. And we played last night. He came home from school yesterday. I mean, it was beautiful, man. He came home from school yesterday. He went out in the yard with the swords. I mean, it was super dope, man. You ever had that feeling where so many things are going good, you kind of looking around like, what's gonna go wrong? I've been feeling that way for a while. Life is Gucci. Great to be here. I love the weather. I love the snow. I would take the snow over that shit they put down to break up the ice any day. Any day. Several times per day. I love it. Great to be alive. And you've got sub-zero winter chills. I don't mind it. I'm telling you folks, you know what I'm saying? Learn from your boy. When you flat on your back in a damn hospital bed, you don't give a damn what the weather is. You just want to feel better and get out here and enjoy life. I love it, man. So I don't hear no damn belly aching. You're happy, you're healthy, you're happy, you can smile and laugh. It's great to be alive. Good morning to you. Now, let's get straight into it. So we've been talking about doing an investment club, and I love the idea. I've done some research over the last week, and what I found is very interesting. What I will say is that in the world of investments, if that's something that we're serious about doing, and I'm totally serious, I won't waste no time talking about something we're not going to do, that there's just so much that we can do. There's just so much that we can do. So what I'd like to do is a couple things. I've learned over the years that you can't talk about everything publicly. You can't talk about everything publicly, and I don't plan on talking about every aspect of in every detail across the board because it's not everybody's business. This is something that you're interested in doing, then what I'll be doing is I'll be taking your information. I'm going to share my email address with all of the interested persons. I'll be asking you. This is the first step. I want to weed out the people that's serious and the people that ain't serious. Just can't all just be me. And I will be looking for some help with this project as well. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I love to do it. Now we're always talking about investments and entrepreneurship. Why shouldn't we do something together with a modest monthly investment with a long-term forecast? I'm with it. I'm with it 100%. So what I'm going to do is share my email address with you with some just very simple instructions for people who are interested so that I can figure out who's interested and I can contact those people directly. I don't want to talk across the board with everybody. You're not into it, great. You can always tap in, but I think there's some things that you're doing that you want to speak specifically with the people that you're doing it with. I mean, I'm just going to be frank with you. So that's how I feel about it. So I'm going to share my email address and I'll be asking you that if you're interested in taking the next steps. And I'm not telling you I've got everything figured out because I don't. I'll say it again. I will need help. If that's professional help, I'm willing to do that as well. If it's something I think is worth our time and energy, I'm down with it. But I'll be asking for you to email me and just let me know that you're interested. That way I got your email address. I probably got a lot of email addresses from people anyway, but then I can contact directly everybody who's interested. and we can do our business. And of course, we'll talk about it over the show and kind of report back in some very general ways. But I just feel like there's some things that when you're dealing with people, you should talk directly with those people, and we don't want to talk in mixed company. Like even inside the chop shop. And I'm just being honest with you. So I'm going to share my email address with you in just a second with just some real simple instructions. And if you're interested, boom, there it is. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Akeem writes, good morning. Investments. What's the ROI? See, there it is. That's a very fair question. And we don't know yet because there's so many things that you can invest in. There's so many things. You can invest in so many things. I mean, from your traditional stocks to now NFTs, EFTs, it's all kinds of stuff. You can even invest in wine. Did you know that? You can even invest in wine. You can invest in all kind of things. You can invest in art. The world is wide open. It really is. And there's so many different mechanisms. I mean, just over the last week, spending some time just kind of looking at things, I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could do this. The world is wide open these days. And I think that if you get enough people together and you're serious about it and everybody is consistent, because I think consistency and long term is the key. Who knows? Who knows? Like, just imagine this. Imagine we got, man, we've been doing this show, what, 5 years now, 4 or 5 years? Let's say we had started this, 4 years ago. Just imagine, where we'll be at right now. We'd be talking about what's the next step. So imagine where we can be in 4 years. I think like that. So I'm down with it. So I'm gonna wait a little bit of time, probably talk about that about 8 a.m. and let more people get into the stream so we can hit as many people as possible. And I'll share my email address with you with some very simple instructions as to how you can let me know that you're interested, and I'll contact you directly, as opposed to just talking across the board. I've just learned the hard way. You can't do that. That wouldn't be wise. Not always. And then we can report back and figure out how we want to do this together. I think it should be a together thing and not just me if we're going to do this the way that I envision it in my head. But I love the idea of it. I love the idea of it. And once again, we'll be pioneers in this space. Others will follow us because it's a super dope idea. And as leaders, we have to lead on. We have to lead on because leaders lead on, and we have to do it by example. And, I was doing some checking, man, and the vast majority of Americans don't have any kind of investments whatsoever. They have none. What? I didn't think you was going to be up this morning, man. You don't have school today, right? No school today. You don't like that? Why not?
Go to school.
Talk to the people, say good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
You want to go to school, huh? Okay, you can go, but nobody will be there.
Do I have to go? Do I go to CSC?
With the baby talk, I'm not with it. You already know
Daddy.
that. Yes.
Is CRC letting?
CRC will be. I don't think you're going to go to CRC today. That's a good question. Now, your mother and I haven't talked about that yet. Are you going to ask her? All right. Good morning, man. Good morning. His little voice is the best thing ever, man. Them little Negroes is some work. Oh my gosh. They expensive. But damn, I love them kids, boy. Whew. Ain't nothing better than having a junior and a medium Buddha. Ain't nothing better, I'm telling you. They make life so much better. It's well worth it, man. You talk about ROI. The ROI on having children is through the moon. My children would do anything for me. That little boy, when he becomes my age or becomes a man, he'll do anything for me. Anything. My daughter do anything for me right now. You can't pay for that. That kind of love and loyalty, you got to grow that. That's biology right there. Angela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. And there's so many men who wish they had a son they had a bunch of girls, never had a son. That's because God knows which man can handle what. Not every man can handle having a son. Not every man can handle having a daughter. And God knows that. He put that little boy in my hands because he already know I got him. I got him. And I can't wait to see what he becomes. It's going to be great. Angela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Kenneth writes, peace and love, family. Good morning to you, Kenneth. Good to see you, brother. Good to see everybody. Glad you're here. Patricia writes, good morning. Good morning to you. I almost had a different title. It's funny. I may go through 3, 4, 5 titles. Sometimes I come up with a title and it just sticks. Sometimes it's a process. And I thought about something different last night. Woke up this morning and said, I'm gonna go with this. Go with this. 3 things that make me want to holler. We'll get to that in a second. Angela writes, I read that book. That book helped me understand some of men's actions. It was a great book. Makes me want to holler. Nathan McCall, classic. Classic. Got it right here somewhere. Somewhere over there. Classic. Old school, but classic. You should check that out. You should check it out. A young black man in America, Nathan McCall. His story was quite interesting, too. Very interesting story. Redemption, all kinds of stuff in that story, man. It's well worth your time. Deborah writes, Cincinnati public schools are closed. We know, Deborah. Thank you. We know. I was up late last night. Medium Buddha came downstairs at like 11:30. I'm like, girl, what is you doing? She's like, I was on my way to school. I'm at the bed, and then I got a notification on my phone that CPS is closed. She started dancing around. I'm like, okay, cool. I love it. We'll have a good time today. Dale writes, good morning, Nana Choppers. I got a bunch of stuff to do, but it'll be great. Great. And just like I'm on the air now and Junior comes in when I'm working, he does the same thing when I'm off the air. I'll be working on something. He'll come in and be talking that's talk, and we have a little time. He'll run out, in and out. Sometimes he'll play right next to me in the office. It is the best thing. There's nothing better in the world. Nothing better. I mean, there's some things that's kind of up there, but it's nothing better. Deborah writes, good morning, Choppers. Crystal writes, good morning. Crystal writes, throwback intro. I love it. Yeah, I could never go too far away from that intro, man. Never. That's a classic. And it's the best intro in talk radio, period. Not Cincinnati radio, period. Talk radio, period. Nobody has a better intro than the Nathan Ivey Show. And it was brought together by Cincinnati creatives, man. I love it. Tiffany writes, good morning. Deborah writes, I hate being in the suburbs. They always have a point to prove. Just close already. Is that right? Regina writes, good Friday morning. It is a good Friday morning. I'm feeling great. It's going to be a great day. Dale writes, cold here in Atlanta, 26. Yeah, we somewhere close here in Cincinnati, man. But like I said, it's great to be alive. It's great to be alive. Crystal writes, let's do it. Let's do it then. Brian writes, I read that book when I was about 20 years old. It was a good book. Today is my 50th born day. Good morning. Oh, man, happy 50th, Brian. That's great. Akeem writes, good morning. Investments. What's the ROI? So you ahead of us, brother. I'm trying to figure out who wants to be in first, and then we will collectively decide how we invest it based upon the ROI, our comfortability, and whatever the hell we want to do. So I'll give the information out in just a second. Around 8 p.m. So not just a second, about 23 minutes. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. How many people got a chance to check out my interview yesterday with Alex Spencer? I don't know the brother, man, but I want to stay connected with him because I love his energy. I'm an energy person. Like, I like to surround myself with people that got a certain kind of energy because I get something out of that. You know, so anybody else like that? A certain kind of energy, and he is the owner of Alex Spencer Reserved, and I didn't know anything about. Um, I had no knowledge whatsoever about investment. I mean, cigars. I had no knowledge about cigars whatsoever. I don't smoke cigars, so I had no knowledge about them whatsoever. But through his conversation yesterday, I got just a little bit more knowledge about it, and it was kind of interesting. It was not kind of, it was very interesting. And he's got a particular brand of cigar called the Mansa, named after Mansa Musa, which, African king. People say he was the richest man ever. There were several Mansa Musas or Mansas, and his business model I thought was quite interesting. Quite interesting. So I thought it was a good conversation. I may play a clip from our conversation yesterday because it happened like at 10. And typically I'm gone before 10, if not at 10. So a lot of people were switching over. You might have missed it. And then, we got a ban yesterday on the show. So if you were trying to find the show yesterday and you had some issues, I understand why now. It's that damn Facebook, man. Damn Facebook. But we working it out. We are working it out, hopefully. But I may play a clip of yesterday's conversation with Alex Spencer because I thought it was so dope. And he seems to be a successful entrepreneur. And okay, great. Maybe we can learn something. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers with a Z. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. There it is.
Get to the chopper!
Choppers. Anthony writes, morning, Choppers. Anybody get a chance to see Joe Biden's speech yesterday? Yeah, he gave a speech on the 1-year anniversary of January 6th, and I got to give him 10 out of 10 on it. I got to give him 10 out of 10. He wasn't on some black-ish. He wasn't talking about policies that are particular to America, black Americans, black voters. But what he was talking about was our country as a whole and some of the things that have happened since January 6th. Like, it's one of the things that makes me want to holler. It's the fact that there's a significant amount of the population that still believes in nonsense. I watched a video yesterday, right? I think it was on like a CNN correspondent. He went to like a Trump rally or was talking with conservatives and was asking them who they thought was behind January 6th. And they just happened to talk with a white female. Didn't catch her name. And they asked her, like, who do you think was behind it? You won't believe what this woman said. It wasn't Donald Trump. It wasn't Republicans would never do that. It was Democrats. And the look on her face, I'm like, wow, she really believes this. I'm looking at the TV screen like, damn. She drank all the Kool-Aids, the packets, the cubes, everything. Put her hand inside the bowl, licked her hand afterwards. She got all of the ingredients. It is quite amazing, just how divided we are on basic stuff. Basic. Very, very basic stuff, man. It's very scary. The number one threat in terms of violence in this country is not from black teenagers. It's from right-wing domestic terrorists. That's the number one threat in this country. And the vast majority of them are non-black. That's the number one threat. Number one. Going back to, I think it was like 2005. You had a hip-hop artist named Lupe Fiasco. He came out with a song and a super dope video titled American Terrorist. He was right. The brother was on point. That's the number one problem. American terrorists in our schools, in public spaces, in our politics. That's the number one threat to this country. Don't let them lie to you and make you believe because, there's been some killings in the rap world that is black rap artists. It's not. The number one threat in this country are American homegrown terrorists. These backwater bubblers from the hills to the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who they are. That's the number one problem in America. That's the number one thing we got to be vigilant about as black Americans, are keeping our eyes on these crazy folks because they're everywhere. And some are more silent and out front than others. Some are covert, like sleeper cells. Gotta watch them. They run around, the FBI's run around here messing with NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy is not the problem. NBA Youngboy is not the problem. He ain't the problem. They want you to think he's the problem, but he's not the problem. That's what they want you to think, but he ain't the problem. They want you to think that it's black teenagers. No, that's not the problem. The problem are these homegrown domestic terrorists who are dealing with fragility and entitlement at the same time. That's what the issue is. They're a threat to all of us. Every last one of you. Let me show you a picture of somebody who is not the problem. He's not the problem. This is not the problem. That's NBA Youngboy. He is not the problem in America. This is the problem in America. That's our problem right there. Look at their faces. Did you know that the FBI is still looking for about 100 people who they have yet to identify who were involved with the Capitol insurrection? I wish I knew where you was, because I would have dropped the dime on your ass a long time ago. That's the problem. This is not the problem. Don't let them program you into believing that, because that's not the truth. He is a rap artist who have some self-destructive tendencies. These are the great grandsons of motherfuckers that stole this country, destroyed black neighborhoods, and now they're back at it again. If they could get away with doing another Black Wall Street again, the massacres, they do it again. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The Red Scare of 1919, if they could get off on that, if they could get it off, they do it again. But it's a new day and we ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that at all. Don't let them confuse you. Similarly, Antonio Brown is not the problem. I told you so. I told you. What did I tell you? I told you early in the week. Let me see if I can pull that up. Here it is. This is why he walked off. Just a theory. My theory was right. I told you. My theory was that Antonio Brown did what he did because he was sick of his employers. They was playing with his money, playing with his emotions, playing him like he's stupid. And he said, oh, okay. Oh, you want to put on the show? I'm going to put on the show for you. I'll say it again. Antonio Brown did what a lot of people should do today, and you would do it. You know, damn well you're telling people on your job to kiss yo, you know what, if you could get it off. You just can't get it off because you ain't got money in the bank like that. But if you did, you would have told people on your job a long time ago to kiss yo hiney. I'm out of here. But you can't do that. So in the last 24 hours, it's come to my attention that, and I saw an interview. It was a press conference that happened like within the last 48 hours with Bruce Arians. I think that's his name. Bruce Arians. He's the head coach. This man said that he told AB to get the F out of here. Now, what would you do if you on your job and your employer start talking super fly to you and tells you in front of everybody to get the F out of here? What you gonna do? You gonna go back to your cubicle and keep your mouth closed? No, you gonna pack your stuff and get out. You out of here. And that's what he did. But we would far rather criminalize Antonio Brown than try to empathize his situation. And I'm mad at Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was so dope his first couple of years. Now he on some damn house Negro skip. But skip. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to watch the damn show no more. Have some damn backbone. You a Hall of Famer, all them muscles. Out here with doing your Terry Crews act. All them muscles scared to use them. I don't believe that about Shannon Sharp. He ain't the same as he ain't the same as Terry Crews. I think Shannon Sharp are going your mouth, but I stand with my point though. So in the last 24 hours, really the last 12 hours, I saw this video of the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got to say this because they malign this brother in the media. He cray-cray. He this, he that. He ain't crazy. He knew what he was doing. He was crazy enough to do what he needed to do. You're not going to tell me that you working for other folks and you ain't ever felt that way. You're not going to tell me that because I don't believe it. I don't believe it one bit. And Bruce Arians told AB to get the hell out of here. Get the F out of here. Now, let me ask you, you on your job, you going back and forth with your employer, you letting them know how you feel. I think the issue was that he said he was injured, but they wanted him to go back into the game. He was like, look, I'm injured. I can't do it, coach. Coach told him, well, get the F out of here then. Oh, what? We doing that now? The good little boys and girls that just go back to their cubicle and go stand on the sideline with their helmet and don't say anything. That's what the good little boys and girls will do. Okay, coach. Well, I don't want to cause no waves. Just put my mouthpiece back in my mouth and keep my mouth closed. That's what they program you to do. That's what they want you to do because that benefits the bosses. That benefits the hierarchy. But sometimes you got to say F that and let these mofos know who they really dealing with. And you're not going to lie to me and tell me you haven't felt that way. You're lying. Stop lying to you. You can't lie to me because I already know. I've been there. You can't tell me that. You ain't going to tell me if you was on your job, you going back and forth with your employer, you around all your employees and your employer tells you, well, get the F out of here. Then you just going to say, well, and just walk away. He gonna cuss that out. He gonna get it, or she gonna get it that day. They gonna learn today. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So everybody was like, oh, he's cray-cray. He went cray-cray. Well, maybe he is cray-cray. I don't know. I don't know what that means. We all cray-cray. I'm cray-cray. Nobody is well-adjusted. I don't like people to act like they well-adjusted. Quit fronting like you well-adjusted. Nobody's well-adjusted, especially doing COVID, because COVID makes me want to holla. There's bad energy everywhere. Everybody on their feelings. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's feeling something because of COVID. The omnipresent fear of being infected, that's having an effect. My hair is not that long, but if it was, it'd be standing up on the head, on my head, just like that man in the image right there. COVID makes me want to holler. I just want to scream. Since you can't do it, I'll do it for you this morning. I just want to go crazy sometime. I just want the shit to end. I'm tired of talking about the schools and the masks. Everywhere I go, I got a damn mask on. I'm sick of it. Don't you feel that way? Makes me want to holler. Sick of it. But back to AB. I told you so. I told you. That was an employer dispute. He said, oh, that's what we doing out here? We disrespecting whole grown men in front of other whole grown people? Oh, okay, I'm going to do you one better. Ha ha. I'm out of this B. I'm out of this B. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have released him, which means that he's eligible to be picked up by another team, and he probably will be because he's dope at his job. When you dope at your job, when you superlative at what you do, there's always a place for you. Always. Somebody will probably take a chance on him next year because he's one of the best at what he does. And when you're one of the best at what you do, you can always find a spot. Now, he may have a contract that's heavy with incentives and less guaranteed money, just like he had with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I mean, hey, that's the cost of being a boss. You know what I'm saying? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? You on your job, you having a back and forth with your employer, the supervisor or the owner or whatever the hell the case may be. And this man or woman tells you in front of everybody to get the hell out of here. Get the F out of here. What you gonna do? You gonna stand there like, no, I need this. No, please. Hold on to his leg. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Is that what you gonna do? You gonna go out like a sucker? Hell no, you not. You ain't gonna do that. I already know. You ain't gonna do that. Some of y'all might do that. I'm not doing that. I'm out right then and there. Like, oh, we doing that? Psh, I'm out of here. I'm out. There's no money worth my respect. None. And that's what happened with AB. Everybody's trying to make it seem like he's so privileged. He's a black man in America. Just pause all that privilege shit. Pause. He just this, he just that. No, he got disrespected in front of his peers. And so I'm going to ask you for the fourth time. If you get disrespected in front of your colleagues today by your employer, are you just going to just put the mouthpiece back in your mouth and sit back on the bench? I'm not saying you don't have to eat some shit when you work for other people and you got responsibilities and kids. We've all done it. I've done it. We've all done it. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue. You be like, this in your head, you thinking, this Negro just don't know who he talking to or who she talking to. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, tell me I'm wrong. You ain't going out like that. And that's what happened with AB. I can play the video for you. I'm a little bit nervous about copyright strikes because they just hit me with that shit. I'm going back and forth about yesterday's show. Yes, right now with Facebook. Facebook can kiss my you-know-what. Y'all is such hypocrites. Y'all let these conservatives use your platform to plan an insurrection against our democracy, but then you want to give me a copyright strike. The fuck is wrong with y'all? What's wrong with this world? This is the craziest. I don't understand this. You got people, y'all let these insurrectionists use your platform to plan a plot to topple our democracy, but then you want to ban people because they use the N-word. Makes me want to holler. At Facebook, I'm sick of it. I'm on it. I'm done with y'all. I'm telling you, I'm making some, we're going to have to move this. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Y'all let Trump lie about Barack Obama's citizenship for years, years and years and years, fomenting racial animus throughout the country. Y'all let this go on for years, but then somebody used the N-word, you want to ban them for 2 months. Huh? What? It's crazy, man. We living in different times. But let me simmer down now. As one of my former colleagues who can't stand my ass, Ken Anderson, used to say, let me simmer down now. Let me simmer down. Let me simmer down. So I'm getting a little worked up. It's too early for all that, Nate, right? It's only 7:55 a.m. It's too early for all that emotion. I know. Woosah. Like I said, a few things that just makes me want to holler. And I'm going to scream and holler this morning. Because somebody's got to do it. So I know you can't do it because you're probably on your way to work. You got kids around. I can do it. So let me do it for everybody this morning. Just makes me want to holler. I'm sick of a lot of shit. I'm calling out everything this morning. Everything and everybody you can get it this morning. Except for the choppers. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking with?
This is Chris.
Hey, what up, Chris? Good morning.
I just caught the tail end of what you were talking about AB. I was in the grocery store, and I've gotten both sides. Just reading both sides of it, and what you're talking about is he's supposed to take it if the coach did say what you said, but was it in response to how he talked to the coach as well? Now, you got to realize you're in a locker room full of men. That's a lot of testosterone. You're on the battlefield. You know what? You're going to fire off some stuff. I mean, if the coach did come at him like that, how did he come at the coach? And if the man was injured, he didn't look injured going off the field, jumping and jiving and stuff. He could have did all that with his equipment on, dodging players. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not do cartwheels outside of MetLife Stadium?
I didn't see the cartwheels, so I don't know. I didn't see that.
He didn't do a cartwheel, but he didn't do a cartwheel, but he was jumping. He was running. I mean, if any time about I played injured, everybody on the field plays injured because that's the mentality. That's the gridiron. You gotta win. So I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that excuse. I'm not feeling the fact that I got a sore ankle, but I'm gonna throw my equipment off and I'm gonna throw a tantrum like a 2-year-old, and then I'm gonna wave goodbye, run off, jump, but my ankle's hurt and I can't play. I got the ball thrown to me 8 times. I only need 8 catches to get this million, but I only caught 3 of them. I still got another game to play. He could have made it up. He still had 2 quarters of football to play. He could have caught a pass or 2 and got the rest of them the next game. I mean, you got your quarterback who's backing you, so he knows where you at. He's going to try and get you the ball. He's been trying out for the first half. 8 passes, you drop 3 or you drop 5, or they weren't on target, but he was targeted. So I'm not that letter. What I read and what you're talking about, I'm not feeling that at all.
Yeah, but Chris, I saw did you see the video? Bruce Arians admitted that he fired him mid-game. He said, quote, "You're done. Get the F out of here." So that's what he did. And then you're the coach. So when the coach says something, it's got more weight than just a player because you're the head coach. So the head coach tells you, y'all going back and forth, and you're right. When men get together, the language, the testosterone, it's going to be there. But when the boss, the coach say, "You're done. Get the F out of here," what you going to do? You either going to sit down like a good boy and put your mouthpiece back in your mouth and sit there, or you're going to do something else. He chose to do something else.
And he took it to the extreme. And that, I mean, there's a way of doing things. And if that did happen, if he made it, I haven't heard that one yet. But you don't go out like that because then you're going to get everything he's getting. You just walk off. I mean, if he'd have just walked out the field, uniform and all, and made the play and be like, you know what, this is what he said. I got da. Walked out the field, we would have never known what happened. Everybody would speculate, oh, what's going on with AB? Is he hurt? Yada 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 yada. And then we'd have let the coach deal with it. But he took it out of the coach's hands, if he said that, and put it in his own hands. And now we sit here talking about it like, oh, he said he was injured. He didn't look injured to me, just running off the field and jumping.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I'm still with AB on this one, man. I'm still with AB on this one. I think that we look at these athletes and we expect them to act a certain way based upon whatever. And when they don't, and when they step outside of how we think they're supposed to act, we just hit them with a whole bunch of criticism. You're right. He could have just walked off the field. He still would have been criticized. Probably not as much. He turned the whole walking off the field into a spectacle. But hell, it's a show. So he gave him a show.
I'm gonna tell you, you love basketball. You love basketball. And the love that you have for basketball, and you know that there's that the unwritten rule and respect for the game. And I love football. And there's an unwritten rule and respect for the game, for yourself, for your teammates, for your coaches, and for your family. You never take your uniform off on the sideline in anger. That right there just shows disrespect for yourself, the field, coaches, and teammates.
Yeah, but see,
that's
here
the
we
game
are
in
talking.
itself.
But Chris, listen to what you just said, and that's what our culture does, especially with melanated people. We talking about how he disrespected people, but the coach just told him to get the F out of here. That's disrespectful.
I understand that, but you're disrespecting yourself in the field by showing out like that. You know what? It's like if you did the same thing. Let's say you're on a basketball court and you missed a shot and the coach is in your ear and you just you own the court and the coach says something and you just take your jersey off, slam it down and walk off.
It depends on what he say. If he coming to me super crazy, I might do that. If he say some crazy shit to me, I'm gonna act crazy. Listen, when you can't predict how a man's gonna react when you say or do something to him. Watch what you say and do, because you can't gauge the reaction. The response might be greater than the initial action. Watch what you say. Bruce Arians didn't have to cuss at him and say, get the F out of here. He got out of there. He said, get the F out of here. So he got out of there. He got what he wanted.
Now, what did AB say to him? Did he say, Coach, you don't ever put me in my effing ankle hurts?
Even if he said that,
or,
you the coach. You the coach. When the coach say get the F out of here, it's gonna have more weight to it, Chris.
Right. Okay. And then you, as a man who loves the game, gives the game your all, you disrespect the field like that.
Disrespect
the game in itself,
field.
The integrity of the game. That whole. I guess I take football to a whole nother level when it comes to it. That's the love of the game. It's like that sanctuary. I guess I'm old school. I guess I'm really old school. But you know what? You can say that to me. If I'm going to come to you like that and you come at me like that, then I'm not going to pull a temper tantrum. I'm going to walk off like a man, but I'm going to handle this another way. This ain't, I'm not going to throw my stuff off because I'm going to make a scene and da-da-da-da. No. Yes, disrespect the game, disrespect the field, disrespect your teammates, disrespect your family. That's what that was.
How did he disrespect his family?
Oh, see now,
Chris,
that's where
how did he see? Here's what I think. I think the NFL is a narrative company, and they're really good at creating these narratives and these cultures that we buy into. The love of the game and disrespecting the field. That's BS. That's a show.
Wait a minute.
That's a show.
I didn't play in the NFL. I played from the age of 6 to high school. I didn't play. I'm not talking about the NFL because of the NFL field and no. I'm talking about just in general, not the NFL.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's what
talking
we're
about
talking
when
about,
you
Chris. We're
when,
talking about the NFL. This was an NFL game, not a high school or college game. So we talking
what
about
if it happened?
grown men.
Okay,
We
wait a
talking
minute.
about
Wait a
grown
minute. What
men
if it
that
happened?
deserve respect.
What if it happened on a high school field?
I don't want to play that game because it's a whole different dynamic. You're talking about minors, you're talking about children. It's a whole different dynamic. I don't think it really compares
Oh,
to this. But even in
oh,
that, I think you can
oh,
have
wait
a
a minute.
player. I think you can have a coach that can go too far with even a high schooler, and that high schooler might say, you know what, I'm out of here. I ain't got to deal with this. But I don't think it's fair. I
And
think it's apples and oranges.
no, because where I'm coming from, it's the same thing. Growing up, and this is what you're talking. You know what? What's the, what do we always say? You know what? Sports, they develop discipline and respect as a child. We need to get kids in organization, have them build team camaraderie. Is that not what we have youth sports for? Is that not why we have what you hear all the time?
I've heard that before, but again, I think it's apples and oranges. Where are you going with this, Chris? How's this compared to AB? These are grown professionals.
He's been doing it all his life, hasn't he? That's been instilled when he was young. So you
Uh,
coming out like
I think
now?
that's
Wait a minute.
unfair.
You taking the core. You taking the core of it and taking the core out the fruit. Just because he's a man, he's not supposed to have those same mentalities what he grew up with, what was trained in his head. Well, I should say trained what he was brought up on. That's like saying as a child, you know what, you should respect your elders when you get older because you're an elder.
Well, I was taught as a child that that elders have to earn respect, even with children. Like
And
I was taught by my elders that just because somebody's older don't mean they automatically get respect. It depends on how they interact with you. That's what I was taught, and that's how I interact with
but
grown people to this day. It
and
depends on
and
how you interact with me. I give you that
but
same energy.
and that's what I'm saying is you're getting that you were taught that.
Yeah, I was taught
And
that.
if you take that out, if you take that uh, out of your core, that's basically what I'm saying. You need that same growing up mentality. You know what? The respect for the game, the respect for the teammates, the field, himself, everything that display that he showed took it all out. That's what I'm saying.
So let me
I mean,
bottom
he could
line
have.
this. Let me bottom line this, Chris. It sounds like you disagree with me. That's what it sounds like. And it sounds like
I
you don't see. To me, when I saw that video, I was like, aha, I knew it. That justifies what we saw from AB. But it sounds like what the coach admits he said to Antonio Brown does not justify Antonio Brown's actions, in your opinion. That's what it sounds like. Am I correct in that?
yes.
Okay. See, we disagree. To me, it's a justification of it.
I, I, it goes back to react, like you said, reaction. You don't react to. I don't think you take that to extreme. You walk on the field, you handle like you say, you handle like a man. And I'm not saying that you suppress it. I'm saying there's another way I can handle this. And there's going to be where I'm the bigger person because what I seen was not the bigger person. That was not the bigger person.
I think
That's,
sometimes people have regrets when they don't say things in the moment and do things in the moment when people come at them crazy. And it just lingers and lingers and lingers. And sometimes you just gotta say it with your chest and put it out there right then in the moment. And that's what he did. I think about Terrell Owens because people start comparing Terrell Owens to Antonio Brown as if that's even fair. And I remember one time Terrell Owens, he still tells this story on podcasts about how he got disrespected by Donovan McNabb. They was in a huddle, and Donovan McNabb told him to shut the F up. And that happened 10 years ago. And Terrell Owens is still talking about it because he didn't handle it right in the moment. Had he dealt with dude in that moment, he wouldn't even be talking about it. And so that's what I see with
and
AB. He dealt with it in the
uh,
moment. It is what it is. Some people gonna criminalize him, but he seemed like he cool with it.
Donovan McNabb, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but there's also that. Here we go with another one. He's that leader on the field. We don't know what Terrell came in the huddle with. He's the leader on that field. I mean, you're around these guys for a large amount of a time. In the locker room, on the practice field, you on the phone, yada 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 yada. I mean, there's an in heat of moment, just like you and I are discussing it right now. There's a different place for it, and it's not right there at time all the time. It's not the right place all the time to just come right back at it.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
Oh,
yes, it is.
You,
the older I get, the more I realize, oh, yes, it is. It depends. Like,
and,
it depends on the setting. Like, if you're representing somebody else or something like that, I can see, okay, I'm gonna chill on this because I'm representing somebody else. But if it's just mano a mano, you and another man, I don't give a damn who it is. You got a right to speak your speech right then and right there. Because, like, if they had the nerve to say it and do it, why don't you have the nerve to say it and do it? That's how I look at it.
I think I guess I'm this person that's gonna look at them like, you know what? This ain't the right there and right there is not the right time, because if you coming at me like that, it's about me. It's something I did wrong. So let me hold my peace, pull you aside later, because we as a whole, as a team on this field, you know what? We are doing this, not you and I. There's 9 other guys on this field right now. There was between him and the coach, there's 86 other guys on that field, on that sideline right now. So that's just the way I feel. And like you said, it's not I. It's not me. It's we, the team. Get in the locker room. All right, let's handle this. And then we can go out and show and go do whatever. Go ahead, butt heads, throw some stuff, and knock each other out. But it's going to get handled.
I understand.
But not in front of company, basically.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Because what you're just saying is, okay, it's more me, we, or more me. You ain't gonna disrespect me like this, and then all of a sudden, all the teammates say, okay, yeah. But then you step aside, y'all talk about it, and then y'all come back, boom.
Okay,
it's over. It's clear.
So if you was in AB's position and the coach, y'all going back and forth, you trying to get back in the game, you trying to get this bonus, the coach tell you you're done, get the F out of here. You do what?
Wait a minute. I thought he was trying not to go back in the game because his ankle was injured.
Right. I'm sorry, I might have missaid it wrong. Right. But the coach tells you you're done, get the F out of here. What do you do?
Well, coach asks you to go in, and you say, no, I'm not going in because I'm injured, right? Let's just say that. I'm hurt. I can't go in. I mean, coach say you're done. You walk off the field. All right, I'm done. I don't pull a whole. I don't go out with flying colors like he did, shooting off guns like he the Lone Ranger off of the Bugs Bunny.
I think that's a small difference. I think once you walk off the field in the middle of the game, whether you take off your jersey or not, I think that's a small difference, in my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Whether he walked off with his helmet on and didn't say anything, or he took his jersey off and threw into the stands and walked off, I don't think it really is a big difference between the two.
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge difference. That's a slap in the face to everybody. No, coach, teammates, field, and family. Honestly,
and you're right. And so the coach slapped him in the face, so to speak. So he slapped him back in the face as he left, and that's how I look at it.
Yeah, we see we don't hold two different pages.
We are. Hey, I appreciate the conversation, Chris. Thank you so much.
I still love you, though.
You have a great Friday, man.
You too.
Yep, most def. That's Chris right there. I appreciate it. We can always agree to disagree, but we did get some movement on that. We both agreed that walking off the field after the coach disrespected Antonio Brown was the right thing to do. We just disagreed on how he walked off the field. And in terms of the way the sports media and the media in general looked at it, I don't think it's very little difference. It's very little difference. And he just walked off the field and with his helmet on and just waved goodbye and maybe kiss everybody goodbye. He still would have got criticized. He still would have got criticized for leaving the game. You don't leave you don't leave your brothers. You don't leave your team. You know, the NFL is a narrative machine. They're very good at creating narratives and culture and history, and they get you to buy into it, right? It's got all these lofty things that we love about team and sacrifice and we before me. Man, get the hell out of here. They will cut your ass in a minute. Speaking of like right now, everybody loves Jamar Chase, right? He them dog. He a dog right now. Uh-huh. Let something happen. Let him get a gimpy leg or a gimpy knee. He'll be persona non grata. You won't even hear his name again. They love him because he's useful. They love him because he's producing. Soon you ain't producing, you out of here. If it's all about team and family, then why don't they have guaranteed contracts? These NFL players are putting their life on the line every time they go on the field. No guaranteed contracts. So I see through the games. Oh, it's these lofty goals, it's team. Sure it is. You produce for the bosses. You can help us win and make money. The moment you ain't useful, your ass is out. They'll say, this is a business, right? This is a business. And everybody will say, well, it's a business. They do that shit on these jobs too. Oh, it's a family. We's a family. You ain't no damn family. You work there. Because the moment that it don't make dollars and cents to have you there, you gone. And the first thing they gonna say is what? It's a business. If it don't make sense, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? And everybody will say, well, they got a point. So stop with all of that. It's demeaning and it's insulting to people's intelligence to try to act like that what we see in the NFL is some kind of family. I'm not saying they don't have friendships between the players, but I'm talking about between the players and the ownership and the team and the front office. You got a job to do. And as long as you can do that job, we got a space for you. The moment you can't, your ass is out. I mean, no hard feelings. You out of here. You out. All that family talk is out the door. It's business talk now. I used to watch that they had a show, I don't know if they still do it, called it's a reality show. It's been on for like 10 years now. It was on HBO. And what they would do is they would go to like the NFL training camps. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. And you could see like the inner workings of the team, and they would talk about who was being cut. That was like a big thing, like who was going to make the cut. And it was family until cut day. Mofos looking around, don't want to make eye contact with the coaches and shit, right? Glad he's not here for me. It's family until it's not. So that's a business, and everybody deserves to have respect. And if you're a leader, then you should be giving more respect to anybody else because you're the leader. What are we talking about? We're talking about Antonio Brown. One of the many things that makes me want to holler. I hate the way they're maligning this brother. I hate the way they're maligning him in the media. And I came across a video. Matter of fact, let me share this with you. I came across a video. I'll put a link in here. You can check it out for yourself. I won't play it, but you might be interested in checking it out, in which he admits that he fired AB during the middle of the game and cussed at him and cursed at the man. That's why he left. So all this other talk was just that, all this other talk. And my question is, what would you do? You going to just stand there and let them talk crazy to you? Nope, I bet you wouldn't. You'll be out of there so quick. I mean, even Chris admitted, yeah, I'm walking off. Okay, then. So if you walking off, that means that you had a reason, you had a grievance. And in my world is, once you throw the first punch, you don't have no control over somebody's reaction. You don't have no control over that. Once you take the first shot, whatever you get is what you get. Whatever you get back is what you get back. That's why you should have respect for people and leave people the F alone. And, everybody ain't built the same. You might say something crazy to somebody, they go straight in your head. Good morning to you. Or they might walk off the job and take their jersey off. You never know. You never know. Real quick, I want to make sure that we get a word in from our sponsor, our friends over at Renew Community Church. They do a Sunday morning masterclass at 11:45 a.m. You can tap in, as you can see on Facebook and YouTube. You can also get a free ebook and possibly sign up for coaching. Have you ever had like a business coach? Any entrepreneurs out there? That could be a benefit to you. If you're interested, go to their website, 3dubs.renewcommunitychurch.org. And I'll talk more about it later in the show. Good morning to you. Yeah, I'm on one this morning. 3 things that makes me want to holler, man. COVID, it makes me want to holler. I gotta admit, I'm over it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Makes me want to holler. And I think we're all dealing with it. Some people are dealing with it better than others, man. But just the omnipresent threat of getting sick and or getting very, very sick, hearing about family members getting sick. Every time you get a cough or a cold or a fever or a chill, or you get a bubble guts, or you feel a little bit off, you thinking, is this COVID? Oh boy, it's my turn. That's got to have some type of a toll on us. We just humans. We ain't built for this. We built for pleasure. All right, this is constant pressure. Every single day you turn on the news, you're hearing about people in the hospital, people getting sick. The numbers are going up. The schools are closing. Kids are getting sick. New variants. I'm sick of new variants. Sick of it. Makes me want to holler. Tired of new variants. Tired of these damn masks. How many people are sick of masks? Raise your hand if you sick of wearing masks. I don't want a cloth mask on my face no more. I was talking with somebody. They said something. I didn't even think about it. And this person was like, I miss seeing people's faces. And I thought, never thought about that. But you're right. We can't see people's faces no more. Like all the stuff that made us human seems like it's in jeopardy. All this pressure makes me want to holler. When is the end going to happen? When are we going to get past this? Ever? I mean, we might be wearing masks for the next 5 years. Variant after variant after variant. I mean, we're going to run out of letters in the Greek alphabet. I think that's what it is. Or maybe it's Latin, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I never said I was smart. I just got superlative flows. Sick of it. Callie writes, I'm sick of the mask. Thank you. Sick and tired of it. Somebody needs to say it. I just want to say it for everybody. I'm sick of the masks. I'm sick of the damn vaccines. I'm sick of talking about vaccines. I'm sick of booster shots. I'm sick of fucking Pfizer. I'm sick of Moderna. I'm sick of hospitals. I'm sick of all of that shit. Everything. I'm sick of washing my hands every damn time, 14 times a day. I'm sick of hand sanitizer. All that stuff makes me want to holler on a Friday. Sick of all of it. Am I alone in this? I can't be alone in this. I cannot be alone in it. Can I be vulnerable for a second? I'm vulnerable with my honesty. I'm sick of all of it. Kevin Rice told you Nathan Ivey is going to wear masks forever. See, that's the thing. I never said I'm not going to wear it. I'm going to keep wearing it, but I'm sick of it. Sometimes you got to do things because you know it's the right thing to do, but you don't want to do it anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm over all of it. I just want to get on a plane with the family and go somewhere where there is no COVID, there is no vaccines, there are no fucking Republicans. People got goddamn sense, and I can work out all day and eat healthy, and that's it, and do a show. Maybe that's heaven, Nate. You're going to have to die for that, bro. I was watching Straight Talk with Edna Howe. Edna's doing a fantastic job. You got to tap in. You got to support with that sister and what she's doing. We are elevating Black and brown voices. We are doing exactly what we said we were going to do. And somehow it came out that you can get COVID through your eyeballs. She was talking about this. I'm like, word, it made me go look it up on Google. We used to run to dictionaries. Now we run to Google. Now we run to Wikipedia. And it's true, yo, you can get COVID through your eyeballs. What? 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 What the freak? And now I got to wear goggles. Now I got to wear goggles. That's the image from Straight Talk. Now you got to wear goggles, yo. Like literally, the COVID molecules can enter your body through your freaking eyeballs. This is unfair. This is unfair. I got to walk around with my eyes closed now? This is crazy. This is our future. This could be a possible future. Let me see here. I seen this image. It's on my phone. Give me 1 second. You ain't gonna believe this. This could be our future. Let's see if I can find this for you. This is crazy right here. It was a screenshot from kids in China looking like astronauts, man, like full body suits. Little kids, full body suits, got like big old globe, like you might see like in a sci-fi movie, walking into school, single file line. Let me see if I can find it here. I may not be able to because I can't remember exactly when I collected the image. Give me 1 second. You ain't gonna believe this is crazy. It was the craziest thing. I'm like, whoa, this is what they doing in China? Like the kids had full body hazmat suits on with these little globes, looking like they was like, I don't know, Martian pioneer settlers or something, going to school or whatever the hell they'll be doing for Martian pioneer settlers. I'm like, whoa, this is our future? Are you ready for that? Forget fashion. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I'm done with it. Done with all of it. Tiffany writes, I thought that was only known from the beginning about contracting COVID through the eyeballs. You know what? Maybe I did hear that before, Tiffany, but maybe I forgot it. You know, Brent writes, this is nothing new. New to me. I guess maybe I knew this and forgotten, then was reminded, and I'm like, God, how are we gonna beat something? We can't open our mouths and we can't look at it. We can't breathe and we can't look at it. How are we gonna beat this? Like realistically, yo, how you gonna beat an enemy that you can't breathe around and you can't open your eyes around? We don't have a chance in hell. We don't have no chance at this. We are ill-equipped. I'm over it. Lisa writes, I've been telling my friends it's no point in the mask if your eyes are not covered also. See, that's the reason why you see some people, they have these big like face mask things on because they are smart. They smart. Eloise writes, at my job, we have to wear eye protection when I go to the office. The people at your job are smart, Eloise. They're smart. You walk around with a mask on, think you protected, but you don't got no goggles on. And like, what type of goggles? Do they have to be swimwear goggles like this? That seems like they'll give you full protection. Like if it'll vacuum seal you from water, then clearly you're probably going to be good from air as well, right? So that's the next look. You're gonna have to see people on. You're gonna see people on with mask on and swim goggles. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. We are living in the last days, my friends. And I don't have any confidence that all of us are going to get through it. I got to be honest with you. We ain't all bay for this. Sister Iris writes, great interview. You talking about yesterday with the brother? Yeah, he was a great interview, man. Alex Spencer was on point yesterday. He was on point. And if you missed it, I want to play a little bit of it for you today because I know a lot of people was jumping off. You was going to maybe other shows or just going on with your life and stuff, which I totally understand. You know, do you? But I thought the brother made a lot of sense, man. He really did. I want to play just a little bit of the conversation. Check this out.
Was 15 years old and she was a Black Panther, fighting for rights here in Cincinnati. My father, much older than my mother, he came up during a time where there were all of these riots and they were picking Black men to join different groups, well, whether it be the Christians, the Muslims, far right, far left, everything. And so, my father really had to learn really more about all religions through his processes of growing up. And, he was also in the military, in the Navy. And so those two worlds came together in my home, and they would always teach us about the power of our Blackness. And so, my parents would always tell us different stories about African leaders, kings and queens, things like that when we were children. And, whether it was King Tut or Nefertiti or, just any of these, Shaka Zulu, it could have been anybody that, our parents told us about. And then driving force behind that was you didn't start off in this world as a slave. You're not a slave. So you need to know where you come from. You need to know your greatness. And it was a very pro-Black home. And so Mansa was one of those names. And I remember, you know, my dad just telling me as a kid, I'm like, why did you name me Alex? Why didn't you name me Mansa Musa or something like that? And, you know, it was just these kind of experiences. Once he died, I missed those stories. You know, I missed, I missed a lot. You know, I mean, we all think about, you know, somebody we know, or even in our own lives as children, somebody passing and how detrimental it is. But I would argue being 28, 30 years old and becoming a father and being married and your father passing is just as impactful, because you don't know what this section of your life looks like. And that was the same thing for me. And so having his stories as a child is what kept me close to him as I grew up to a man.
That's interesting. Speaking with
Yeah.
Alex Spencer, he's the owner of Alex Spencer Reserve. So basically, you went back to some of these childhood stories, and you remember Mansa Musa. You thought that'll be a dope ass name for a cigar.
Yeah. It was um it's like this. You know, you get your undergraduate degree because your parents tell you to get it, or they're going to kick you out the house. Right? And then you get your graduate degree for a job, and they tell you, you know, we only take master's degrees for these positions. So you go out and get it, get more money. And then this PhD thing, if you know anybody that's gotten it, or if you have it, that is your personal journey, and that's something that you want. The Mansa was my PhD, and it represented everything to me that said, Dad, we made it, and I love you, and I didn't forget about you. And so that was that. And I was just grateful for him. And honestly, I don't know what else I would have done if I didn't do that. So yeah.
All about pops. I get it. Alex Spencer is my guest. So Alex, tell us about the cigar industry. Like who's running the industry right now? Are there a lot of Black folks in the cigar industry? I have no knowledge. I'm completely ignorant about cigar culture. So who are the big players? And are there a lot of Black folks, making money or doing what you're doing?
No, there are not a lot of Black folks. How do I answer that? Because that's a very direct question, and it's a very direct answer. The industry historically was looked at as, and if you look at cigars today, it's very Cuban-esque, right?
Right.
Everybody has this dreamy image of, Cuba pre-embargo and Fidel Castro and, this whole old world, old-timey look of cigars. Prior to that, I mean, tobacco's been around for, 400 years. That was as long as slavery's been around, right? So we have to look at who is the face. The same people that are the face of cigars today are the descendants of slaves. Right? So you got Black people that, and this is another reason for creating the Mansa. You got Black people in the factories rolling the tobacco, farming the tobacco, right? And back then, you had Black people rolling the tobacco in farming and tobacco. Then you had a slave master. And today it's a little different because they're not slave masters, right? But a lot of the people that work in these places are underpaid, right? So my job as a cigar maker is to make sure there's equal pay, fair trade, right? I don't want to see anything that remotely looks like Black people being underpaid. Right? So, we mix that, right? And then you have what looks like a white guy at the top. Let's just put it out there. And that harkens back 400 years to, guess what? A white guy at the top. Right? So what makes this industry interesting now is that you got a Black guy who's the descendants of slaves that owns a cigar company. And he wants to revolutionize the way that this industry historically has looked at us. That's why this is so big. And that's the reason why the Mansa is so big. It is drawing attention to the people that work the factories, the farmers, the people that aren't spoken for. And, you say who are the creators of the industry, who are the owners of the industry. I mean, it's not really a big jump. Let's be honest. It's not really a big jump from, the powers that be 400 years ago. Now, when you look at Blacks in the industry, you can look at it the same way you look at it as alcohol. There's thousands of different types of alcohol in different bottles and things like that. Of any industry, how many Black-owned, brands are there? They're very small. And in cigars, it's about 50 different brands across the entire world. So tens of thousands of cigar companies, only 50 of them are Black.
I'm gonna step in at that point. That's my conversation we had yesterday. I just want to tease it a little bit. You can find it up on Facebook right now. Just go to yesterday's show, and he came on like the last 30-40 minutes of the show. So just check it out. And I may play more. He talked to more. I asked him about any thoughts he had for entrepreneurs, and he gave a very straight answer on it. So check it out on Facebook. I thought it was a good conversation. I know a lot of people missed it because it was at the very, very end of the show, sort of outside of my usual time frame. But I wanted to make sure I got the chance to talk with the brother because I thought it was a fascinating conversation because it was something I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about cigars. I've never really got into the smart cigars. I may have puffed here or there over the years, but not really my thing. But I do know that's a really big thing. People like to pair it with food. I didn't know. He actually said you could pair it with different foods and all kinds of drinks, not just alcoholic drinks, that it can actually enhance the experience and the flavor, which I didn't know was part of the whole cigar culture, but I didn't know that you could do it outside of bourbon. I thought it was just a bourbon thing, but that's just me being naive about it. So I thought it was very, very interesting. And hopefully that won't be the last time you hear from the brother Alex Spencer. Now, coming up at some point today, I'm trying to connect with a brother named Derek Snow, and they've got an upcoming production that you might be interested in. It starts this weekend. I support creative individuals in Cincinnati, and so hopefully we get a chance to speak with brother Derek Snow. And as I'm speaking about him, we got him backstage right now. Hey, Derek, can you hear me? Give me a hands up, little thumbs up. Okay. All right, let's bring Derek on right now. Hey, good morning, Derek. Hold on.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Well. We made it.
We made it.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about this upcoming. Well, first tell us about yourself. Are you from the Cincinnati area?
Yeah.
Who is
born
Derek
and
Snow?
raised, Avondale native, born and raised. Got an early start at SCPA as a kid. Took an interest in theater immediately. I went to New York to study and came back, decided I would come and teach in the city I was from and try to raise some Black youth to appreciate the arts like I had previously done. And it's been really, really rewarding to see your own work happen in your city. 6 years ago, we lost Sam DeBose, the brother to Cincinnati police, in the shooting. And that was one of my best friends. So it spurred me to create my own nonprofit that would amplify Black voices in theater called Missing Front Plate Productions. It's been about a year strong in the nonprofit, and the response has been phenomenal. And in between that time and doing activism, I decided to go back to my roots of directing and theater. So we have Intimate Apparel, the show that I'm working on now, coming up today, opening night, actually.
Oh man, I didn't know that, brother. That's a very interesting story. So let me unpack some of this, but I
Sure,
definitely want to make sure we promote what's going on because I'm
absolutely.
sure there might be people that are interested. So you said so you've always been a creative, even way back in high school?
Always been a creative. Entered SCPA at fourth grade, so it's been something that's been in my heart and my spirit for as long as I can remember. Always wanted to perform. You know, one of those active kids. The mother was like, "We got to get you out the house. You're too busy doing stuff." You know, so try to find a creative outlet for my energy, and ended up really going into SCPA as an art major. I wanted to paint and sculpt. But I got there and saw other people on stage that looked like me for the first time in my life. And it just inspired me to study theater. I really got the theater bug big. And so it's been 35 years plus now that I've been doing
Oh man,
this.
that's super interesting, man. I spent a little time at SCPA. Didn't graduate from there, but I always look at my time there very, very fondly,
I
very, very
think, so.
fondly. Just
Yeah.
being around other creative people and that
Yeah.
energy, man, it just helps bring it out of you. So
Yes.
I can
Yes.
identify on some levels. So you said you graduated and you went to New York for some time. What was that experience like in New York? You hear people say that you can make it in other places before Cincinnati. I hear that a
Mhm.
lot, and I've heard about people moving to New York or Los Angeles. But what was your experience like?
You know, it was honestly overrated to me. And I say that specifically just because they were not interested in Black art at all when I was there. I was classically trained at a CPA, and then wanted to train in Juilliard, so I wanted to see what Juilliard was all about, and was disappointed. You know, everybody else heralded that school as the end all be all for theater, and they weren't interested in works of color at all, which I was hugely influenced by. And in fact, when I was in school, August Wilson had just really started writing that famous cycle. You know, I think Fences was out the year that I went to New York. And so I kept saying, hey, here's these shows, these other Black playwrights. And, more interested in Moliere, more interested in Shakespeare, classically, leaning theater. And that was fine. That's fine if you want to train there. I just didn't feel like it was my energy, that I had a responsibility being a child and a single mom in Avondale who just believed that I could be something more, and I thought that I could be more than just a typical classically trained actor, and so I fought against that. So to me, it was like the experience was a little muted when I got there, but then I found like minds, some brothers that were doing some theater, some Black rep theater in Brooklyn, and I kind of latched on to that energy instead of my classical energy, and
Hmm.
it served me well. Yeah,
That's interesting, man. That's real. So did you and I'm not sure if that's the right term, graduate from Juilliard, or how long were you there, or how long were you in New
yeah.
York?
I spent a year and a half there at Juilliard, and then went up to SUNY Purchase because Wesley Snipes and Samuel L. were there, and I had met both, and both told me, the same thing, same energy. You should just go to a school that supports your work, supports what you want to do, your vision. You can be around like minds and some works of color, people of color that support what you do. So I stayed there, and then came back to Cincinnati, actually, ironically, to get an engineering degree, because my mother was worried about the theater background. She knew I've been doing it my whole life, but she wanted me to actually make a living as well. And in that time, she was just kind of like, just be safe. My mother's
Right.
very pragmatic. She's 82 years old this year. So very pragmatic woman, and always wanted me to just have another avenue just in
Right.
case. Yeah.
Right. That's parents for you. That's that's
Yeah, it
that's that
is. Truly,
generation, right?
truly,
Absolutely.
truly. Yeah.
They mean well, but then things have changed. Do you think that change, or how have things changed for Black creatives, theaters, in theater or across the board in the last 20, 30 years, in your opinion? Because I think things have changed, but again, I'm not really in that world like that.
Hmm.
So I'm
Sure.
curious what you think.
I think it's changed. you know, I don't mind how it changes if it's forced or otherwise, but I think there's some sincerity there now that I'm starting to see. You know, last year there was a mad rush after George Floyd to all, you know, jump up, and organizations wanted to jump up and have DEIA committees and, you know, try to do these things proactively, sort of, but also like trying to respond to the energy. So I'm appreciative. I think when I was in the 90s and stuff, when I was in school, um, it was definitely a hostility toward Black art. They didn't think it was good enough. You know, it was always relegated to sort of a Chitlin Circuit sort of word of mouth. You know, Black folks had to advertise to only Black folk, and, you know, you couldn't get in any of the big venues. And I think that's changed a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I think that that's supported by the fact that they put more Blacks in administrative positions too, rather than just hearing us say, you know, our work is good. We have people that can push our work as well now. So I think that that's a definite difference that I've seen as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like since last year, even in Cincinnati, you saw people embracing Black art,
Hmm.
and the more cynical part of me wondered whether it was authentic or not. But then the other part of me thought it doesn't really matter, right? An open door
Right.
is an open door, right? Does it really matter? Like if they want to fund it or open the door, walk through the door and do what you do.
I tell the
Um,
younger artists that all the time. You're right. Absolutely.
And I just feel like when I was in college, I was reading the Village Voice and stuff like that. So I was hip
True.
to Basquiat. I thought I was smart. I thought I was hip, right? Basquiat, right?
Absolutely.
What's that? But
Yeah.
now I'm just so much more aware of Black artists
Yeah.
because I think it's the internet.
Hmm.
And like you said, I think there's just more of an acceptance of it. And I think that for people that's got the money, it feels like it's easier for them to invest in Black art as a
Hmm.
way, as opposed to like what I do. Because I'm
Yeah.
a fire breathing dragon some days,
That's
right?
right. That's what's
And
up. Yeah.
that's a lot more threatening than a Black artist. Not to say
Sure.
that one is more important than the other. I think they're both important, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
I felt that way. What do you think? Have you seen anything like that, or you agree? Or
Yeah, I'm a fire breather myself. You know, Missing from Play Productions is a direct response to Sam DuBose being killed, me not having any outlet creatively. I had to sit through both trials and watch this happen to my friend, you know, and I didn't really have a creative outlet that wasn't founded or at least rooted in anger and fury, you know. So most of my work was very threatening. Everything that I tried to propose to some of the, you know, theater companies around town, they're like, Derek, I don't know about that one, man. Like, whoo, we love you. You know, you've been in the game for a long time, but you know, my activism was scary, and I understood that, but I also didn't back down from what I felt was my fundamental need to be true, you know, and move out of my working for other people and doing shows that other people had written, starting to write my own stuff, create my own worlds, and so it's worked out for me. But absolutely, there are days you have to walk that balance, because I do walk in some days with a little bit of that hostility of like, you never cared about any of my work before, and everybody's really excited to see my stuff all of a sudden. And then I think about what you just said, you know, that these doors are open. So I back off a little bit, just, you know, for the greater good, I think. And the greater good to
Mhm.
me is the bigger picture is that I influence, you know, younger artists to continue doing what I'm doing. And they always, you know, give me compliments on kind of standing up and being sort of that voice, so that they feel like a little more comfortable coming out and staying, you know, speaking their truth as well. So I think it all serves a great purpose for me.
Well, and let me know if this is a place you don't want to go to. I fully respect it, but I didn't know that you had a relationship, a friendship with Sam DuBose. How did you know Sam, and how did you hear about what happened?
Um, that's strange. You know, I was raised. I went to Rockdale Elementary before I went to SCPA. He was one of my biggest defenders at Rockdale Elementary. I was bullied there because I was a smart kid, and you know, my mother was a school teacher, so I would have to, you know, have to dodge groups of people just because, you know, I was a student council president or something like that. You know, it was just kind of like that nerd thing of picking on the smart kid. And he was the main one going, leave Snow alone. That's my little brother. Like, leave him alone, you know. And so all throughout those years, he was kind of my defender. And when I went to SCPA, he was always a guy saying, you know, stay off the block, leave him alone. Snow gonna be something, you know, leave that brother alone. So I didn't really have to worry about anything with him. And we became super close, became brothers over the times. And I was actually in a play rehearsal when somebody texted me who didn't know him that well, but heard me mention him and said, "Didn't you say your boy's name was Sam DuBose?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And the text sent me a news link that he had been killed. So that's when I found out, and I had to leave rehearsal. Actually, I just asked to be dismissed for that day, and just kind of went into a little side rehearsal room, and just let it out. Went and saw the news coverage. I think I saw Dieters talking about the case and whether or not they were going to go forward prosecuting, and spent the next year protesting outside the courthouse, being in the courtroom, things like that. Just had an effect on my psyche, and also feeling a little bit of guilt that I was, a creative artist, and I was just, content at the time with just auditioning for work around town. It had nothing to do with social justice or change. And here my friend was on the slab. And it had that profound effect on me. It really did. It changed the way my entire trajectory, actually.
Really? Okay. And that was part of the impetus behind your creative works and what you're doing now.
Yeah. I was lucky. There was an organization called the Breath Project out of New York City last year who wanted submissions for 8-minute 46-second pieces, which was the time of death for George Floyd, the expiration time of his death at the time, as it was known, 8:46. And they wanted submissions that were 8 minutes and 46 seconds long, and they were short films. So I figured I would film something. I wrote a piece called The Ballad of the Dying Body that basically was a movement piece with spoken word. I had a brother in town, Julius Jenkins, who's an amazing street dancer, to portray George Floyd, and another woman, Ernasia Curry, who's in Chicago now, but did my lead in the spoken word piece. And I sent it to them, and they were overwhelmed. They sent all this overwhelmingly wonderful support for the work, ended up putting it in the festival as their top choice, and ended up commissioning a play from me right after that. Like a month later, they were so impressed with the work that they commissioned a full-length play from me based on something else that I was working on. So it's been really rewarding to get that kind of acceptance and work. And, your words, I've spent so many years as an actor. I didn't really think that, I had it in me to do plays, but also felt I had a voice, and if I did get a chance to write, that I would try it out. And it's been really successful and rewarding so far.
Wow, man, that's very interesting. I'm glad we've connected, man. This is
me too. Absolutely.
This is very interesting. I didn't know about you and what was going on, but this is very interesting. So tell us about the production that starts this weekend.
Yeah, we got Intimate Apparel by Lynn Nottage, one of my favorite playwrights. This beautiful woman. I think she's won 2 Pulitzers, and this was nominated for one. It's won all these awards. It's been a play since about 2003. Viola Davis played the lead role on Broadway way back when, and just nailed it. So I've always had my eye on the show. It's a really empowering show about a Black seamstress in New York in 1905. It's actually sort of loosely based on Lynn Nottage's grandmother. All she knew about her grandmother was that she was a seamstress in New York who met a man that she'd only met through corresponding from Barbados by letter. And that's how her mother was born. And that's all. So she basically crafted a story around that little bit of knowledge about her grandparents, basically. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful show. Esther is the lead character. She makes intimate apparel for high-class women in New York, white women, and also lower-end Black women. She makes lingerie for prostitutes. So there's this dichotomy of, high-end lingerie and, some of the other stuff. And so she's walking in between these two worlds. She's watched 22 of her seamstresses go off and get married while she sits alone at 35 years old and has never had even a boyfriend. And so she gets these letters from the Barbadian man named George and begins to start believing in love, and uses sort of the fabric as a way to tie the show together thematically. The fabric she sews is also the fabric of her life coming together and beginning to sort of manifest in her love life. And the optimism in the show, beautiful characters, beautifully written Black characters, is what really drew me to it. I'm in love with the entire show. It's a beautiful sort of take on Black life and our struggle and our triumphs. So I like that it walks that fine line, so it's a really interesting show.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. What's the runtime? What can people expect?
About 2 hours with an intermission, about 2:15, 2 hours 15 with a 15-minute intermission. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a really, really good.
And if people are interested, where is it? How much does it cost? Can I buy tickets online? And if so, where?
Yeah, we're at the Walton Creek Theater. We're Marymount Players. It's the first production by directed by a person of color there in their history. So I'm feeling really good about that. It's been about a 60-year history. They haven't had a director of color, so we're feeling really proud about this work. Yeah, absolutely. We
Wow.
wanted to bring some work out there and some different audiences. And so it's at the Walton Creek Theater, which is 4101 Walton Creek Road. The tickets are online at marymountplayers.com, and it's selling really well. So I would just advise people to, check it out now as early as they can before it sells out. I'm hoping that it does. I mean, these actors are so phenomenal. I was really, really blessed to have this cast, and they came together for me because they respected me and they liked me enough to take a chance and take a chance on my directing. And I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm really curious. I know there was a contact that made this that connected us, and she had
Yeah.
asked me was I going to go. I initially told her, COVID, I'm not sure. But now, having virtually met you and hearing from you, I'm really curious, brother.
Yeah, brother.
So don't be surprised if you see me and the wifey come out and show our support.
I would
What's
love
the
that.
what's the run time? Is it a week, 2 weeks?
So we're
How
going
long?
tonight, January 7th through the 23rd. We do Thursday night through Sunday. So we'll have 7:30 p.m. starts Thursday through Saturday, then a 2 p.m. start on Sundays for the rest of the 3-week run. Yeah, we have a 3-week run. So plenty of chances to come see us. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
That
Yeah.
is fascinating, man. Fascinating. Again, one more time for people that just might have missed it.
Yeah.
Where is it? When is it? And how can we get tickets?
Intimate Apparel at the Walton Creek Theater at the Marymount Players. And you can get tickets either by calling the box office at 513-684-1236 or going on marymountplayers.com. Intimate Apparel by Lynn Nottage.
And now that we're connected, Derek, man, let's stay connected. Let's stay
I
connected.
completely agree.
Anything that's going on along
Yeah.
these lines, or perhaps something else.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love to interact with Black creatives,
Yes, man.
especially.
Absolutely. Yes.
Who
I appreciate
knows?
the opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Thank
Well,
you.
listen, thank you so much for telling your story and let us know about this. It sounds
Yeah.
very interesting,
Thank you,
and
brother.
we'll connect real soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate that so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so
most
much.
def.
Thank
That's
you.
Derek Snow right there. Blessed us with some flow this morning. Appreciate it. And to the connect, thank you so much. Man, the choppers, man. I say this again. I got goosebumps. I say this again. I cannot do this by myself. Nobody creates anything worth anything by themselves. You help me every single day. People help me with sending me links for topics, things that are going on, guests, as with this brother. Thank you very much. I like the brother. I don't even know him, but I like his energy. I don't know. You never know. I'm very interested now. I'm very interested. I don't go out to a lot of stuff, especially with COVID, but I'm very interested, and I want to see them do well. Oh, I see Deborah's posting it. The Players intimate apparel. The tickets are at the Merriman. She posted the link. Thank you so much, Deborah. I thank you very much. Appreciate it. You put that on the screen there. Yes, that sounds really interesting. And brother's got a very interesting story too. I'll say it again, man. We have a place here in the Cincinnati. We have a place, and every day I am reminded of it every single day. So we got blessed by some great flows this morning. Yesterday we talked with the brother entrepreneur. Now we talk with another Black creative entrepreneur. I love it. I love it. I hope it does super well. And did he say it's the first Black directed at the Marymount Theater in 60 fucking years? What are we doing? It's 2022. We got to we got to kick down all these barriers. All these barriers. So I love it. So if you're interested, I will remind you. I will do the legwork to remind you. And again, I'm just doing it for the love, man. I want to see people be successful. And if you're interested, then you can check it out. You can check it out for yourself. I think it was fascinating. The whole story. I could have talked to him longer, quite honestly, but the whole story was fascinating. I'll say this again, man. Cincinnati has so much talent. We got so much freaking talent here. And, Black folks in Cincinnati have so much talent to be, selfish and specific. So much talent, so many stories like that we don't get a chance to hear about. And that's why I'm here. That's why we're here. So we can amplify Black and brown voice. And when the brother said that, I'm like, he's speaking my language. He's speaking my language. I loves it. 100%. But let's go to the phones. We got a call on the line, and John has been so patient. Let's go straight to John from Florida. Hey, good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan. I mean, the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world, and yes, the choppers. Sounds like it was a great interview. I don't know if anybody can hear on the back end. I heard your questions, but I couldn't hear any of his response. So maybe if
Yeah.
you can put that up, maybe you had some technical problems going on.
No,
But I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear anything on his end.
yeah, John, it's I don't know if it's a technical problem, but there's a little bit of glitch. So a lot of people are not hearing it just on the audio side. So I typically go back and will update it so people can hear all the audio. But if we're doing like a Zoom style, and that was like a Zoom style interview, typically the best way to check it out is on Facebook or YouTube. That way you get the full experience.
Well, most people don't understand when you're doing Zoom, you got to check the audio on his end as well as your end.
It's
And
not
then
that.
on the back end, the audience, if that's piping through on the back end too, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hip
But
to it, but the issue is a bit more technical and deeper than that, or I would have already dealt with it. So it might be one of
okay,
those things that we just gonna have to deal with as we do using this particular program. I'm already looking at some other programs I might move into that won't have those issues, but I'm still in the trying out phase with those. So we are where we are right now. So I'm not sure if you're able to tap in on YouTube or Facebook and watch the video. That way you'll get the full
yes,
experience.
yes, yeah, I'm capable of going on that pipeline. That's not an issue. Listening to your earlier flows, you talked about a number of issues, and maybe I'll run through them really quick. You talked about earlier the business aspects of cigarette smoking. Maybe you can give me a recap really quick on where that was going on some of the, you see these shops opening up across the country. And a lot of men like to go someplace where they can sit and talk, man talk, cigarette smoking, some music in the background, TVs. I'm not a fan of that. I think I went to one or two in the Georgia area one time. It was just too much smoke for me. I guess because of my asthma and allergy every now and then. I maybe stayed for a hot drink and I got the heck out of there. It's limitations with me. But I'm not a fan of cigar smoking, because I know a couple of people that have died of tobacco years ago, and one particular guy died of smoking so much cigars. So that's something, I'm not trying to push people away from that. If that's what your pleasure is, with some brandy off to the side or wine or beer, that's your pleasure. But you need to caution yourself about being in that environment, taking on so much tobacco. Once again, like the COVID, it's an individual choice. But you talked about that. I kind of found that interesting. You also talked about, I think you were making a little light out of swimmers. You were pointing out the COVID's going to be with us. Yes, the COVID's going to be with us forever. So we just might as well get along with it, go along with it, protect yourself. But I think it's an individual choice of shots or not shots. But swimmers do not wear gargles. They wear eye gargles, yes, when they're swimming. They don't wear masks. They can't wear masks. Once they dive into that water, that mask is going to come off. But gargles for the eyes, they do wear them. They've been wearing them for years. So that's not going to stop that. I know you were making a little light and fun out of that particular topic, but it's protecting yourself. Me, I'm a type of person, because I've had allergies all my life. I still do eye drops, even though it's a different climate in Florida than being in New Jersey, where the pollen was fierce. I was constantly around April taking eye drops, nose drops, something for the throat, and an allergy pill every night. I had to get used to it. I had to live with it. So parents that have young kids that have these problems, you have to infuse your child into protecting themselves, taking their precautions at night when they go to bed, closing windows so the pollen doesn't drift in if you have trees in there that drift in, and the child and that shower by washing hair, body, is very important to get all that dust and pollen and weed off of you. So
Where are we going with this, John?
that's it. That's important. Well, where we're going with it, I know you were making kind of light over it, but you also were tooling people. I know, and letting people know this is something we just got to live with it. You know, this COVID and all these viruses have always been with us for over 300 years. It's always going to be with us, and it will continue being with us. So to get to the businesses, part of I don't know if you brought up the topic in talking about business. I think
Business?
what I'm saying is what's driving the U.S. economy right now. This is my belief. What's driving the U.S. economy, and you talked about it lightly earlier, is small business and mid-sized business. These major companies, they're downsizing, or should we say, laying off, because they don't have the manpower, and they got these giant corporations with floors, and a lot of people are not going back to work, or if they are working, they're working out of their house. So I think what's always been driving this economy is small business. And that's where the country will thrive. And to hear our people, African Americans, getting more involved in setting up their own businesses, that's thriving the economy. That's what's keeping this country afloat. You talk about taxes. That's what Biden and Harris were so interested as soon as they got in office, putting people back to work and allowing, yes, us opportunities to start our businesses. So you see the engine driving across the country, small businesses, they're thriving and coming up with creative ideas and businesses, okay, cigars or whatever you want to do. Or you mentioned the gentleman that came up with the concept of his business, even though I couldn't hear his questions, and somebody you talked with yesterday too. I think that's driving the economy, and it's showing us opportunities where you don't have to go to these major companies that don't want you in there anyway. That's another story and another day. But
Right.
creating your own platform is very important. You know,
All
having that
right, John.
entrepreneurship is very important. So I leave you with those questions, and I'll talk to you over the weekend. We're going to talk some business talk, and hopefully the wifey will let you come down here to Florida at some point in time so I can take you to the man cave.
All right, brother. Take it easy, John.
All right, take care.
That's John, who is rarely on topic, but that's just John's style. That's his style. That brother, he just like, we're going to talk business. Huh? What the fuck is he talking about? Oh, man. That's my brother right there, though. But that brother. Okay, so listen, there seems to be some energy and some interest in doing an investment club. If you are interested, email me, letting me know you're in, put in the subject line investment. Nate, I'm in, put investment in the subject line. All right. And I will reach out to you directly because over the last week, I've done some, I didn't get super deep with it, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I have spent some time looking at what that could look like. And it could look like a lot of things. This is 100% doable. And what I think the direction I think we should go in is a monthly contribution with a several year forecast. So, this is something that we would do together collectively. Everyone would put the same amount in on a monthly basis. It would be something we would all agree upon. Everything would be above the board. This is not something we're going to do next week because we want to do this right. We want to make sure that everybody feels like it's fair, like it's a safe investment, and it's honest and it's transparent. And to create that system is going to take just a little bit more time, and I will need some help. So if one of the choppers is already in that world and perhaps you've done this maybe with some other friends and you want to share with me some good practices, I'm open to it. But what I want to do starting today, and this is a multi-day process, is I want to collect the contact of the information of the people who are interested. So if you're interested, that is my personal email address. It'll go to this phone right here, and just put investment in the subject line. And I want to do it that way because if you do it on, I ain't trying. I'm pissed at Facebook right now. Facebook makes me want to holler. I don't trust them, and I don't want to just do a direct message type of thing. I want you to show me you're interested by sending me an email, and we'll probably do this for the next week or so. Because I mean, people are in and out. Not everybody, not even the regulars, are not even here every single day. And I want to make sure that the people who are interested, I don't have a cap on it. I think the more the merrier. That means more that we can amass. And man, in terms of what we can invest in, I mean, y'all, the door is wide open. The door is wide open. Like you literally can invest in anything almost these days. Literally. Like I didn't know this, but you can invest in wine. You can invest in all kinds of stuff. So what? I know I'm saying it again because I was 2 hours ago. Don't lean on the table, bro. Don't lean on the table because you're gonna shake everything. See everything shaking? You don't want to do that. Can I help you? I'm gonna get off the show. You gonna play swords today? What else we gonna do? When we done, we can play. So we gonna go outside and play. We gonna throw the ball too. Okay, great. I got you, man. I got you. After the show, you gonna wait right here? He said, "I'm gonna wait right here." You know, kids be like, "After the show, I'm gonna wait right here." I ain't going nowhere. So I got some fun later on in the day, man. Me and no, not right there. It's not enough room. Well, a little further back because I don't want you to get rolled on. That works. That works. That's my buddy right there. Look at him. That's my buddy. Look at his teeth. Yeah, that's my bud. Everything is for him and medium Buddha and the wifey. Everything for the family. You mind if I get back to the show now? Okay, great. Um, so in terms of what we can invest in, family, and many of you probably have already making investment. You already know this. I'm speaking to the choir here, but I'll say it anyway because it needs to be said. Is it's wide open. It's wide open. And we've been doing this show 4-5 years. Imagine we started something like this 3 years ago. Imagine where we would be. Imagine where we could be collectively 3 years ago. So not only is this something that could be a good investment for us all, but I think it's just a good practice. Let's lead. Let's lead, right? Let's show them how you're supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something different that nobody else is doing. And I'm sure others will follow. But let's do something different. Let's do something of substance. And like I said, I'll kick it off, but I'll just be one of many. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not. And if there's expertise out there and it's feasible, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this something that's successful. But that's if you're interested, and I'll put this out every day for the next week and probably the next couple of weeks. That's my personal email address. If you don't already have it, many of you already do. Just email me and say, Nate, I'm in, and put in the subject line investment. That way I know exactly who it is, and I can, you know how you do it on that Gmail. I can classify and put certain people and certain emails together. It's just easier for me to organize it, right? It's easy for me to organize it. And then I'll have your contact information if I don't already have it, and I can contact with you that way. I'm thinking that we'll use text and also email, but we'll kick it off with email. And I'm thinking we'll start with something modest, but it's something that we'll all agree upon. So I will suggest and we will agree. But I think that if we're going to do it seriously, we need to have some standards in practice and people know what they can expect so that we don't have no bad feelings and we don't fall out. Because what have I said before? There's 3 things that humans will fall out about real quick. You get your chin checked real quick on 3 things in this world: people's children, people's money, and people's food. Those 3 things you don't want to play with. I take it very, very seriously. So I'll leave that up. If you're interested, just email me nathansflow@gmail.com. Nathan's Nathans flow FLOW @gmail.com. Subject line, put investment. Put investment. I will respond within the next 24 hours, maybe 24 to 48 hours. I'll respond depending on how many we get and let you know, hey, I got you, and then we'll be in contact. I don't want to put everything out over here because you know how humans are. You already know. I've learned the hard way. So I think once we start this, there'll be some things we'll talk about here in terms of everybody, but I mean, we're gonna have some conversations among ourselves with our investment group. And I do have a dope name for it too, which I know you're gonna love. I know you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it. I'm not saying we're gonna make millions or anything like that, but I think it'd be a good practice. We can learn together, and it'll be a great example for our community as well. And I'm for all of that. Charles writes, John stays off topic. That might just be his new nickname. John off topic. That's funny. That's hilarious. Maurice writes, divide and conquer still exists. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Chris writes, what's your email? Well, here's my email right here if you're interested. Matter of fact, let me keep this up I'll leave it up for the next 15 minutes until about 9:30 or so. We'll leave it up. Okay. And if you're interested, again, this is not a commitment. This is just saying, hey, I think I'm interested. I want to know more. That's all this is. This is not a financial commitment and committing you to nothing. This is just telling me, hey, Nate, I heard you talking about it. I want to hear more. And that's it. And I don't have no hard feelings of people like, nah, screw that. I don't trust Nate or I don't want to be a part of that. I don't have no personal feelings about it. You got to do what you think is right. But what I will tell you is there are things I take very seriously, and I don't play with people's money. And I'm a straight shooter, 100%. No matter what the scenario is, that's just me, on the air or off the air. I just don't play games with certain things. In fact, let me let up there. I'm so used to taking it off and then putting other things up. But back to your chat. This morning. So what'd you think about brother Derek Snow? I thought, man, I like this brother. Never met him before. Never even knew he existed. It was one of the choppers who made the introduction. Thank you so much again. But I want to stay connected. I just liked his energy and what he had to say. And he a creative. I'm like, my kind of people. It's my kind of people right there. Mika writes, Derek Snow, my guy. Oh, I did it again. Sorry about that. I'm just so used to doing it. I'll leave it up there. Oh, you know Derek? Okay, great. Seems like good people. And I'm genuinely interested. At first, I was like, nah, we probably won't be there. But now I'm like, let me run this past the wifey and see how she feels. Nat writes, I remember him from SCPA, School for Creative and Performing Arts, man. Man. I wish I had graduated from that school. I wish I had stayed there all through high school. I was there for like 3 years, like 3rd through 6th grade. Great years, man. Great years. Going to school, doing creative stuff, doing plays, playing the trombone, acting. That's what school supposed to be like. Every school should be like that, man. That's just my opinion. We should add that brother into the Chop Shop investment portfolio. Just a thought. Absolutely. I mean, at this point, I want to know the people that have a general interest. That's it. It is not a commitment. I ain't asking you to give me no money. It ain't me anyway. It'll be a we thing. But I keep saying, I keep saying it for years, like, damn, everything's given. Have a different kind of conversation with your family. Okay, well, let's have a different let's lead. Let's actually do it and not talk about it. And then we can show ourselves, our family, and the community how you do this. We ain't got to do what other people do. We can do something different. You know what I'm saying? We just like we did with this show. We didn't follow nobody's lead. We did our own thing with this. Ain't no reason why we can't keep doing different things and try to grow. You know, it's a whole new year. I think everybody in this room is on that investment, black wealth shit, right? Everybody. I don't know nobody that don't want to build wealth, black, white, or whatever. So why can't we do something together? I can't see why. And again, the precursor for this is going back a couple years. We were doing lottery together. Right? Everybody was kicking in a few dollars. And I was buying the lottery tickets. We would have hit the lottery together, man. Listen, we would have all retired. I would have kept doing the show on some. If I didn't do the show, I would have been supporting other creatives in some kind of way. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I hit for millions. I don't know. It depends. I like doing it. I do the show for free. I would do the show for free. I did it for free for years. So I just like doing the show. I like talking that talk and exposing the games and calling out the lames in a way that nobody else is willing to do it or prepared to do it. So I don't know. I probably would still keep doing it on some levels. I don't know. That'd be a good choice to have, right? That'd be a good conundrum, right? Sign me up for that problem. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Somebody writes, y'all are whack. Woke cigars by a morbidly obese individual. Why so heavy? He can't breathe normally. Okay. It sounds like dumb shit. It sounds like dumb shit, Fame. That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like you miss, you so busy blowing up the negative that you missing the real picture. That's what it sounds like to me. Sister Irish writes, I loved his continued references to his dad. Me too. Me too. I like that too. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Oh, it's been a great week. It's been a great week. Personally, the show, it's just a blessing to see 2022. It's just a blessing. I love it. The weather is great. I know y'all don't think though, but I honestly believe the weather is great. My wife would be like, oh, damn snow, rain. I'd be like, shh, looks good to me. Looks great to me. I love it. What's up, Akeem? So listen, if you're interested, bro, I'm leaving it up to you. That is not a commitment. I ain't asking nobody for no money. We've got to put the infrastructure in place to present to potential investors for people to sign off for. I have not done that yet. That is a process. I believe in doing things the right way, and I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to shoot you no shit. You know, if we're going to do it, I want to do it 100% right, with our eyes on the future. And I'm not there yet. But since we brought this up, what I do want to do is take the steps to know who's interested, so that as we build out the process, that when we get to that point, I already know who's interested. I can present it to you. You can say yay or nay, and we start rolling. Okay. Like I said, I don't bullshit with people's money. I take it very, 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 very. I can't express to you enough how seriously I take it. I don't play no games, none whatsoever. And I ain't gonna let nobody play no games with my money. So I don't care if it's 15 cents. I take it very, very seriously as a huge responsibility. And things have to be done a certain way. And that's why I say if there's anybody in the chop shop that's got a history or experience with this, I need your help. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I fully admit it. Help your boy out. Maybe you can be a consultant or something like that and help us through this process. Because I always want to deliver. I always want to deliver anything I do. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Brother Fame, welcome. Good morning.
Yes, Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, formerly known as Stephen A. Spliff. Uh, Dumb-ish, huh? Okay. I'm sorry. Just as a fellow heart patient with you, I was just, kind of baffled how you would give somebody that type of platform to sell us something that could kill both of us, you and I, almost instantaneously, given our
Instantaneously?
cardiac issues. Yeah.
I never heard anybody instant dying the first time they puffed on a cigar.
I mean, being a cardiac patient, as you and I are, you never know what could happen. And not to mention that guy, I'm looking at him, he's 3 Reese pieces away from a damn cardiac event himself.
Oh, really? Yeah, but you know what? That's why I say you in your effort to blow up the negative, you missing the picture. It's not about my personal taste. It's about the fact that there's people out there that enjoy cigars. Enjoy your
He
cigar.
named cigars after some woke bullshit. Mansa Musa, that's cool. Yeah, we get it as woke, but that ain't really why I talk. I just didn't appreciate you saying that was dumbish. Like,
it was
okay,
dumbish.
no, you brought it up.
It was dumbish.
Okay, well,
no, brother, you brought it up because I was reacting to what you responded in the chat box. I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
Hey, it's your show. Whoever brought it up is whatever is the person that you said brought it up. Okay, so it is what it is.
No, that's not what it is.
However,
no, the facts are the facts. I was responding to your comment and just own it.
Concerning Antonio. Well, we'll talk about that offline because it's really deeper than that. Concerning Antonio Brown, can two things be true at the same time? The coach was an asshole, but so was Antonio. And I like how you conveniently did not mention that Antonio blew up at halftime and had to be calmed down because he wasn't getting his touches. He wasn't getting his targets. They had to settle him down at halftime.
I'm sure it's happened with a lot of NFL players with incentive contracts. I mean, that's a part of professional sports.
That's conduct detrimental to the team. And speaking as a coach, speaking from history,
how was it detrimental to the team? They won the game.
They were down quite a bit until the negativity left. Till the negativity left the sideline. They were down to a 3-win team. Tom Brady losing to a guy who's literally half his age. They have the same birthday. And Tom Brady is exactly 22 years older than that guy.
That's overblown.
No, it's not
It is
overblown.
overblown.
The fact of the matter is that Antonio Brown was being a disruption. This fool, the one who had a fake vaccination card. He had a fake vaccination card. He had issues with his trainer, with the sexual issue with her. I mean, the guy
Irrelevant.
Just, he just.
Why you bring up old shit?
Okay.
That's all irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what happened in that particular instance. That's it.
And what happened in that particular moment, as a coach, I've been through that. Not with contracts, but I remember a kid coming up to me, "Hey, coach, I can't play. My hand hurt." I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I don't see any bones protruding through your skin or anything like that. Can you go or not? If you can't go, get out of my face. I got a team to coach. We'll talk about it later. That's probably what Bruce really meant. All right, you're done. You're not playing. The medical doctors cleared Antonio. I like how you conveniently omitted that. The medical doctors cleared him.
Yeah, but medical doctors cleared Tony Gonzalez and all these other players that got CTE. These medical doctors are in the bag for the team. They'll do anything to get these players back out there.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have your own doctor. You don't have time to go to your own doctor during the middle of the game.
Exactly. So you got to go with the medical
You're under
doctor.
contract. I'm paying you. You will go to the doctors I tell you to go to.
That's like saying that Sean had a lawyer, but the lawyer was paid by Puffy. He ain't really got no lawyer.
What the hell's that got to do with last Sunday? Quit bringing up old shit.
I'm making a parallel.
Quit bringing up old shit.
You said the doctors cleared him. Those doctors work for the team. Their job is to get them bodies on the field. And the history shows us that they'll run players back out there even when they're not really that healthy.
Those doctors are Antonio's coworkers, are they not? But he works for the team too. The silence is deafening.
I'm not sure what your point is. I don't get the point.
I'm not sure what your point is, bringing in Puffy and Shine.
I just told you what the point is. The point is, you just said that the medical doctors cleared him as if they're objective.
That's it.
They're not objective.
That's it. Stop right there.
The medical doctors that work for the team work for the team, not the players.
Antonio's not objective. He's playing for his own contract.
Their job is to get them bodies back on the field. Period. They've been running bodies back on the field for years. Brothers got CTE and all kind of issues. But as long as they can perform and the team wins, the medical doctors that get paid by the team will run them back out there. So I don't understand what you mean, medical doctors. I don't mean nothing.
Before the onslaught of CTE and all the stuff, and all the fake woke people like your favorite white man, David Zirin, started talking about it. Getting a concussion was a sign of weakness. Like somebody cracked your ass and you can't even play no more. So that's why guys would always run back on the field. Football was kind of a gladiator sport. I always looked at it.
They ran back on the field because the medical doctors green lighted them. That's why. So
no,
the medical doctors.
No, that's not true.
That's
not true at all.
That is
you
true.
would run on the field because you would run back on the field because you didn't want nobody to know that you got your clock clean.
Nah, they ran back on the field for the money and because the medical doctors greenlighted them for the benefit of the team. Everybody knows this, bro. But anyway, what else is your point?
And Antonio went back, and Antonio wanted to get his reaches and incentives for the benefit of him.
Yeah.
Because as you see, they won without him.
Right. So he wasn't that much detrimental to the team. They won without him.
Well, they were down like 17 to them.
Happens every game. Somebody's always down in an NFL game.
You're not supposed to be down by 17 to a rookie quarterback. Please stop. Okay?
I don't know why not. The rookie quarterback is just one facet of the team. You know this, man. You're a big NFL guy. Big deal.
Oh my God. You're throwing out non sequiturs.
I'm not throwing out non sequiturs and shit. I'm just challenging your nonsense.
Yes, you are. The Jets are one of the worst teams in the league. They had no business being down 17 to them.
They beat the Bengals, and the Bengals going to the playoffs. So what?
And Buster Douglas
any
beat Mike
given
Tyson.
Sunday.
Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. What's your point? Is he one of the greatest heavyweights?
That is my point. My point is that on any given Sunday, any team can beat any team, no matter who the quarterback is. Period.
And they did not beat the Buccaneers. They did not beat the Buccaneers once the negativity left.
So he helped them.
Once the negativity, he was that negative. He was what, 18 points of negativity?
So now it's all on Antonio Brown. You sound as bad as these white folks.
No, I'm not saying it's all on Antonio Brown.
You just blamed him for being 18 points down. Look, long and the short of it is this, Fame.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the minute he left, they started winning. I don't think that's not a coincidence.
You're entitled to
You know,
have
and
your,
if your
you,
ankle's
you
so bad,
entitled to think
if your
whatever you
ankle's
want to
so
think.
damn bad,
But the
if
long
your
and the
ankle's
short
so
of it is
damn bad,
this.
why are you doing jumping jacks
Bruce
going off the
Arians
field?
disrespected that man. It was an employee dispute, and that's why he walked off the field. He told him, "You're done. Get the F out of here." So he left. Period.
Yeah. And he put on a handsome display doing jumping jacks, being an asshole.
It's a show. He put on a show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure you. Okay. Why don't you could have done that in corporate when they let you go? You could have just signed off, started cursing like,
There's no
this
field.
Nathan Ivy. I'm the
Nobody would have been there. There was no field.
Job.
Bad example. There's no field. If I was
like
AB in the same scenario, I might have did the same damn thing. Who knows? I don't know.
Just like your bad example of Terrell Owens. When the quarterback is talking, you're not. You learn that at 5 years old.
That was an excellent example, actually.
Actually, it was a terrible example. The better example would have been Scottie Pippen. He refused. He had an employment dispute, and he said, "I'm not going back in." Didn't make a big display about it. Just said, "I'm
He made a huge display about it. He was pouting on the sidelines and wouldn't go back into the game. You talking about wasn't a big display?
The
display was so big that people still talking about it. The display was so big that it's in The Last Dance.
Did he take his jersey off, his sneakers off, and throw them into the crowd?
That's not. That's irrelevant. That's splitting hairs. That's minutia.
That's very okay.
The reality is,
it's minutia when I say it, but when you say it, it's like it's the point of the year.
Him to do. That's what it comes down
to. It's the point of the fact remains. You can say whatever you want. The fact remains is that AB's out of a job. If somebody feels like dealing with such an asshole, they'll pick you. And I don't know if it was a true Twitter story or not. I tried to find it again. But supposedly he was in a hotel room with that woman who like licked the toilet seat, and it went viral a couple years ago. Licked the toilet seat on an airplane when the virus first started.
I vaguely remember that story, but I don't know. I haven't seen.
He supposedly told her the night before, "Watch what I do tomorrow." I was trying to find that story on Twitter, before I called. But again, the fact remains that he was being an asshole at halftime.
America loves an asshole. America loves an asshole as long as he's catching touchdowns and doing what the bosses tell him to do. If he was an asshole last Sunday, he was an asshole the Sunday before that. Okay, and
yeah, I know he was, fake COVID cards. You down with that?
So what?
All this vaccination stuff you down with people getting fake vaccination cards? How would you like it if he had a fake vaccination card
and send
his kids to school with your kids?
That wouldn't be my style, but.
Oh, okay. Oh, so okay, yeah, okay. I got what you're saying. AB is cool as long as he's fitting your narrative.
Exactly.
The fact remains that his actions were ridiculous. They were outrageous.
No, they weren't.
And nobody wants to deal with that on the team.
It depends. I can see why people could say that, because some people, our culture has conditioned us to do and act a certain way, especially with these ball players, right? It's like a gilded cage. Do and act this way, and that's a part of the condition for acceptance. And the moment you step outside that line, we want to vilify you, criminalize you, and you're the worst thing ever. So yeah, I get it. I just don't think like that. I think for myself.
You take basketball. You can win with one dominant player. The Bulls did it for years. You'll be fine. You take baseball.
Who did it for
years?
Nice
pitcher, and the Bulls.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they wasn't winning games. They didn't win
dominant
titles.
Players.
No, before Scottie Pippen got there, Jordan was shooting like 40 times a game.
And he wasn't
winning
shit.
So much, Michael? Why do you shoot so much, Michael? Well, who you want to shoot? Brad Sellers? Remember that quote?
Yeah, and before Scottie got there, he wasn't winning shit. The Bulls
were they going 0-82? Were they going 0-82, or were they not winning games in the season?
They weren't winning anything in the playoffs, and that's where we really
were they winning games or not? I didn't say titles. I said
now you want to split hairs again because you got a bad point. Let's just move on.
No. I said they were winning games.
You said they weren't going
winning. 0-82.
They weren't winning shit until Scottie got there. Michael Jordan didn't win shit by himself. Stop that narrative.
So they got 5 players on the court. If you get 2 decent players, you'll be a very competitive team. 40% of your team, you got 40% good players out there, and you're a decent team. Baseball, you get a dominant pitcher and a dominant hitter. Again, you're in every ball game. Football is the only true team sport. All 11 have to be on an accord. Again, Notice when the asshole energy leaves the room, the team steps up and starts dominating and punishes that young, weak team like they should have been doing from giddy up.
Well, we'll see how far they go in the playoffs without AB.
Oh, they won't, because they won't go very far because Tom Brady got old overnight. Like 1 week he threw 3 touchdowns, the next week he comes out, he's fumbling and throwing interceptions. He's like,
No
the
AB.
age is catching up with him now.
No AB.
Now. No, AB was there. AB was there that game. You know, it was, like I said, it was a couple 3 weeks ago. You have to follow the NFL. He literally got old overnight.
What are we talking about here?
We're not talking about nothing because you got smacked around. Okay, let it go. You know, there are 2 things can be true at this. I'll bring it back home. 2 things can be true at the same time. Bruce Arians might have handled things differently, or might have not handled things properly, but AB sure did.
Yeah, we love to vilify the black man. We love
to vilify the black man. There you go. There you go with the fake woke stuff.
Might have been
there you go with the fake woke
but
stuff.
The black guy certainly was wrong. Yeah, I get you, bro.
Yep.
More that anti-black
I support administration. I support administration.
Yeah, I know you
because
do.
I've been a coach.
You support administration.
You, on the other hand,
I don't support. I'm an iconoclast. I don't support none of that shit. You did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Nathan.
Fame.
You if we're going to continue down that road, that's fine. I will not participate. But however, I just want to tell you, it's been real. I had fun, and maybe I will grace you with my presence again. But it might be a private conversation because there's certain people in your audience who I don't need. I don't feel deserve my flow. The guy called in yesterday calling me names. You know
who called you names? Oh yeah. I mean, you come on, bro.
Talking about a homosexual man said he would pound me,
dirt and then get sensitive when people talk shit about you and throw dirt at you, man. That all comes with it, bro.
Yeah. Well, can I throw some dirt at him? Can I throw some dirt at him? Can I throw some dirt at this homosexual who said he wanted to pound me? A homosexual said he wanted to pound me.
You got some issues.
You understand what I'm saying?
You got to deal with your issues,
I can't even. Usually I would tell him to go to Nathan. Usually I would tell somebody like that. I would come up with a clever way to tell him to go to hell. Like, hey, after you finish your granola bars on your lunch break, why don't you go to hell? Something like that. I can't tell him to go to hell because he's gay. He's already going to hell, and he knows it. So telling him to go to hell would be redundant.
Why is it that whenever you have an issue with a black man, you always call them gay? All these protected religions in the
United States.
I'm curious about that.
Because
you got time to answer that question?
Do you not hear sugar hitting the ground?
That every time you have an issue with a black man, all of a sudden they become gay. Why is that?
No, I never called Brent Beard gay.
You might have.
No,
I just don't remember.
No, I haven't. I've never called him that. And he knows that. I just called him a monkey because that's what he looks like. Listen,
okay, brother, that's better.
Listen, like I said, all these protected religions in the USA, and Daryl, they all agree on 2 things, Daryl. They all agree on 2 things. Even though they have different gods, they all agree on the same devil, and none of them agree that gay sex is appropriate. That's how we know you're going to hell. You quit worrying about me when you call this show. You're trying to be relevant. I'm on this thing, blah, 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 so I can get relevant, get my buzz up. No, you know how Fame got his buzz up? By being an interesting N-word. You're not. Nobody's interested in the gay experience. Be well, bro. Maybe one day the gay conversion therapy will work for you. Because right now, it's not.
I don't think that works for you, man. But okay. I appreciate you, brother. I don't think that works for you. It's very telling that you always go there. Hold on 1 second. I have to send a very. It's very interesting. But I appreciate the brother. No. He's all over the place. I mean, I'm trying to remember everything he said. It was some of this stuff just didn't make any sense. So Bruce Arians might have been wrong, but AB definitely was wrong. See, that's the way we look at it. You know, so we look at these ball players like they like children. Like they like children that have to be They have to stay in line and follow every order. Like I said, when I saw that video of Bruce Arians saying that he told AB to get the F out, I knew right there, oh, that's what happened. And like I said, if you go to your job today or next week, because you might be off today, and you get into a dispute about whatever on the job, and in front of everybody, your employer says, well, you're done, get the F out of here. What you gonna do? You gonna beg and plead? No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna just go back to your cubicle or your job and just shut the door and get all huffy puffy? Who you think you're talking to? Or are you gonna be like, oh, where are we doing that? Oh, we ain't got respect for each other no more. And you gonna show out the same way and show that same energy. And that's what I saw from AB. That's what I saw. That was my theory initially. And when I saw that video, I put a link in here about maybe an hour and a half ago. Check it out for yourself. When he said that, I'm like, oh, well, you told the man you're done and get the F out of here. And that's what he did. The NFL is a show. They put on a show every freaking Sunday and sometimes on Thursday and Monday nights. He put on a show. Could he have just walked out? Yeah, but people don't always do what they should do. Sometimes they do what they can do, what they want to do. That's just what it is. I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way he wanted to end his NFL career. That's his NFL career. Go right ahead. The team won the game. It gave the sports world something to talk about, and life goes on. You see, every time I saw AB, he was at a NBA game like the next night. He seemed to be happy. So that's it. That's it. What was the other points the fan was talking about? He said something. I can't remember everything. He said some other stuff. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. It's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. How you doing, sir? I'm glad I could catch you before the show ended.
Absolutely. I'm glad you made it in.
Man, thank you, sir. When I tuned in, you had the brother in, the director, and I said I kind of see where the Nathan Ivy show is going in 2022. In the first week of January, you've had 3 Black entrepreneurs. I know you had the cigar guy yesterday, and then you had this director today, and I think you had somebody. I think you've only had 2 so far this year. So,
and we had the mayor.
I see the direction.
Mayor of Cincinnati was on Tuesday.
That's right. Exactly, and the mayor of Cincinnati. And again, Mr. Ivy, I like the direction you headed with your show, and I'm wishing much success for Sin Digital Media moving forward. But the reason that I called is that the Black community has 2 very significant dates coming up in January, and then, of course, we got Black History Month in February. And I would like to ask your opinion on this. And I can take it off the air or you can do it on the air. But with these significant dates coming up, January 17th, Martin Luther King's birthday, and correct me if I'm wrong, January 17th, Martin Luther King's birthday, and Black History Month in February, do you think that the Democrats will find a way to explain why they haven't done the 2 major legislations that they told their Black supporters that they were going to do in their first 100 days, and that is the George Floyd Justice Reform Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act? Or do you think they're going to continue to refer to January 6th as an attempt to destroy democracy and talk about the scary orange guy on these upcoming significant dates for the Black community?
Okay, so what's the question again?
The question is, what do you think the Democrat Party will do? I'm talking about Congress and the Senate, considering Martin Luther King birthday coming up January 17th and Black History Month, because they were supposed to have those 2 pieces of legislation passed already. How do you think they're going to handle it? I'm talking about the party. Because they're not going to get anything done in the next, well, who knows? Maybe there'll be no significant legislation passed between now and the when the midterm campaigning starts.
You kind
That's
of
all. I
answered
just
your own
wanted to know
question,
your
but if
take.
you're asking if you're asking my opinion, the most
Yes,
honest, and it's going
yes.
to be disappointing to you, but the most honest is I don't know. I would say that
Okay.
the
All right.
past is the best predictor of the future. So I might agree
Mm-hmm.
with you that before the midterms, I don't think anything substantial is going to pass. I think,
Okay.
and I can't tell you that I have all of the knowledge of what's happening in DC right now, Washington right now, about both of those pieces of legislation. I can't lie to you and tell you I've been following it like that because I have not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, hopefully after I hang up, if you still got time in the show, maybe someone who follows the Democrat Party, supports the Democrat Party, explains for the Democrat Party, and oversees for the Democrat Party, maybe they can call in and possibly answer the question of what is on the agenda for the desperate Democrats in the next 3 to 4 months, because the election is in November and campaigning usually starts in March. So that's all I got.
Well, I got a couple things for you, Drop, before you roll
Yeah,
out of here, if you don't
yeah.
mind.
Okay.
I've noticed
Mhm.
you stopped doing your Real Clear Politics polling. Is that because Biden's numbers seem to be going up and Kamala Harris's numbers seem to be going up? Is that why?
No, because they have consistently stayed in the low 40s. So it really was irrelevant, especially going into the new year, to continue to say the same 42.8 approval, and 53. I think the last I checked last night. I didn't check this morning. It was 42.8 approval, average of polls, and 53.9% disapproval. So if you look, if you go to that website and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a chart where it has red for approve and black for disapprove, and you can see the direction that the president's numbers are going. And I don't see them going up, Mr. Ivy, and that's why I posed that question, because he needs to do something to get his numbers above 42%. Because if his numbers are still in the low 40s, when election time comes and campaigning starts, all you're going to see on political ads are Joe Biden's terrible poll numbers and what that means for the midterms. So
Then
I hope that answered your question.
The second question I have for you is, did you get a chance to watch any of Joe Biden as President Joe Biden's speech yesterday about January 6th? And if so, what did you think of it?
Yes. I thought it started off good. He was speaking about patriotism and the effect that January 6th will have on our country's history. But then, Mr. Ivy, he went right into a campaign ad talking about Trump, 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 Trump. So that's what I got out of it. And it just, Mr. Ivy, every time I look at him, he just looks like he's just getting older by the day.
Yeah.
Now that
That's
speech
your
was
cynical
given.
eye.
No, I'm just saying the speech was given at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Normally he speaks in the middle of the day. So a lot of people saw that image yesterday, Mr. Ivy. It wasn't, you could tell like he just woke up and he had a whole bunch of makeup on. So again, I'm just saying, I want the president to be successful, Mr. Ivy. I really do.
Really?
Because he's not.
I don't believe
Yes, he's not. Mr. Ivy, listen. The man has been in politics, Mr. Ivy. The man has been in politics for damn near the last 50 years. He has a record. He's not radical like the progressives and like the squad. He's not. But he knows, just like Trump knows, that the voters support the progressive wing of the Democrat Party.
Not so sure about that.
And the Republicans know that Trump got 75 million votes. So they're going to do whatever they need to do. This is what politicians do, because it's not about the truth. It's about what you can get people to believe. So Joe Biden is going to continue to make his constituents believe that he's a progressive. But I know that he's not. And that's what I mean when I say, I want the president to be successful. Because, Mr. Ivy, then I'll go. The major piece of legislation that Joe Biden passed was bipartisan. It was passed with 13 House Republicans.
He was successful in a way that Trump was never successful. You're right. I just got two quick questions for you, because I know that you are a big time Republican and a big Trump supporter.
No, see, you're overemphasizing that. I just vote Republican, Mr. Ivy. That's it.
You
I
voted for
don't
Trump
donate.
twice. You're a Trump supporter, man. It's okay. Just be
I'm
honest.
a Republican.
You're a
He was
Republican,
on
so
the
that's
ticket.
you're
Okay.
a black Republican,
Okay.
black, not Democrat. These two questions for you. Number one, do you believe that the election was stolen? The election that elevated Joe Biden, was that stolen from Trump, in your opinion?
No, I don't like the word. I don't like the word stolen.
Okay.
No, to answer
Okay.
your question, no, the election was not stolen.
Okay.
But the one word that I do like to use in replace of stolen, I like the word rigged.
Oh, okay. You think the
It was
election was
rigged.
rigged?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
in
crazy.
those 5 states. In those 5
Crazy.
states.
Crazy talk. And then
Michigan,
secondly, do you
Michigan,
believe
Georgia.
who do you think is to blame for the January 6th insurrection? And what I mean is, do you believe that Trump has any culpability or blame in inciting that mob? And do you believe that there were other elected Republicans and or conservative media types that helped to build up that momentum that led to January 6th? Do you think they're to blame for that?
Well, I don't like the word blame, but I believe they were the catalyst to charge up a certain group of people to get down to the Capitol. Now, what happened with the people who broke through the barriers? That's a whole nother issue, because half of them, 90, I think it's 90, are still in jail and they haven't been charged with a crime. They're awaiting trial, and that's why the other day I called those individuals political prisoners. But if you remember, Mr. Ivy, this is a little history here. Leading up to the election, for the previous 3 years, all they were saying, Trump ain't gonna leave quietly. Trump ain't gonna do this. They're gonna have to drag him out. Right. So, Mr. Ivy, the fact that he had a rally that what?
I mean, they almost did have to drag him out, literally. And he didn't leave quietly. No. He tried to start a damn near civil war and came up with these lies about how the election was rigged, which you believe, and or stolen. So he did that.
I said rigged. Okay, but see, Mr. Ivy, you forget, leading up to that, they predicted all these things about Trump. They've been pounding it day after day. So the question is, they knew there was a rally that the president was speaking, which was down the street from the Capitol. They knew all these things were happening. The day before, they found the pipe bombs on the street. Yeah. Why was
somebody tried to kill Kamala Harris?
Mr. Ivy, the mayor of D.C., Muriel Bowser, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, were responsible for securing the Capitol in light of the things that they had been saying.
The Speaker of the House is not responsible for securing the Capitol.
Mr. Ivy, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Do your research, sir. Do your research.
The Speaker of the House is not in charge of the Capitol Police.
You have,
and she's not in charge of the FBI or the military. She's not in charge of any of that.
She's the Speaker of the House. She's in charge of security.
She's not in charge of security, sir. That's not true at all. That's not true at all.
All right.
You know that.
Okay.
You sound like your boy Trump telling lies out here.
Tell me. No. Tell me who's in charge then.
I don't know who are her.
Because the Capitol Police.
I can't tell you that I know the name of the Capitol Police Chief, but I know it's not Nancy Pelosi. I can't tell you.
No, but the Capitol Police
the name
are
of the FBI special agent in charge of security that day, but I know it ain't Nancy Pelosi. We all know that.
Mr. Ivy, the mayor is in charge of the Capitol Police. That's why they're called the Capitol Police.
You just said it was Nancy Pelosi.
No, listen, I said she's in charge of security of Congress. Okay? If she thinks that there was going to be a security issue, okay, she knows she's going to need more support than the Capitol Police, because obviously we saw what happened when they stood alone.
You know what I can tell you?
But listen, Mr. Ivy, stop, Mr. Ivy. Let me just say this, sir. Mayor Bowser was sent a request to call up the National Guard. She's the only one that can do it. The president cannot call up the National Guard. So Nancy Pelosi has to give, or her office has to give that request to the mayor to bring more security at the Capitol, because we got the crazy ass president down the street riling people up.
You know what?
But Mr. Ivy, they were not prepared. And will we see any members of security from Nancy Pelosi's office and from Congress's sergeant at arms to let the people know what happened that day. Why
We know
were
what
they
happened
not
that day.
prepared, Mr.
We
Ivy?
know why.
Okay, now this
You know what I can tell?
okay.
You know what I can tell,
Mr.
Drop?
Ivy, that's
You know what I can
What's
tell
that?
from your response? I can tell that you
Yes,
have
sir.
been you haven't been reading. You haven't been reading, and you
All
haven't
right,
been
you always accuse me of that. You always
have not
insult
been
my
reading,
intelligence,
sir,
but
and
I
you have
get it.
not been
I get
keeping
it.
up on the information that's been coming out in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what happened on January 6th. Because if you had, even just doing just a little bit, then you would have better answers to these questions. All this information is out there and you're not reading it because you're probably caught up with like Fox News and conservative media outlets and they're not reporting on it. So you're getting a one-sided distorted view. I can tell by what you just said right there. Because you asking questions
wait. Say
common
that
knowledge.
last part again. You said I'm getting a what? One-sided.
You're getting a
distorted
one-sided
view?
I can say I can tell. Tell me if I'm wrong now, but I bet you spend a lot of time
you're
consuming a lot of conservative media, Fox
CNN,
News, Newsmax, things like that, because they're giving you a one-sided, distorted view of what actually happened on January 6th. And as a matter of fact, you're actually regurgitating a lot of things that I'm seeing on those kind of conservative sites. But what I would say is for your own education, and so you get a more fuller picture of what happened, is you might want to
thank you, big brother.
look at some different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you get a more fuller picture of what actually happened out there, because you just said some shit that's just not
for
factually
somebody
true.
who ain't keeping up. For somebody who ain't keeping up with what's happening in Washington, you seem like you know a lot more than I do.
Well, like I told you, I'm not keeping up on the latest on the George Floyd Act, but I am watching about the information coming about January 6th. Those two different issues.
But January 6th happened in last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so why wasn't the first question you asked, if they knew these crazy Trump supporters were going to be down the street and they found a pipe bomb the day before, and just weeks earlier or months earlier, when the same people stormed the Capitol in Michigan, where they had the right to carry weapons and they were fully armed, and you telling me that our FBI and intelligence did not know that something was going to pop off down the street?
You're not aware.
No, see, Mr. Ivy, see,
you're not aware.
You can't
these
touch
questions
me.
have been answered.
If you let me talk, you know I'm going to put the information out there.
It's a
no,
conversation.
You cut me off. It's your show.
Fast.
I get it. You're driving the narrative your way. You're in the driver's seat.
I'm not driving any narrative, brother. I'm just saying that I can see now why there's gaps in your information. That's all I'm saying.
Why did you have the questions at the end? You could have just let my flow stand. But you bring up these specific questions. Mr. Ivy, I love your show, but we very rarely get to engage, because what you do to me, you try to diminish my intellectual presentation by saying that I'm dumb, I'm stupid.
I've never called you dumb or stupid. I don't do that.
I don't know how to assimilate information.
If you say some dumb shit, I'll say you said some dumb shit, but I don't call wrong people dumb or stupid.
I don't know no other channel out there. All I do is get Wi-Fi news. I just love each of y'all.
You're deflecting, sir. See, you're deflecting.
So
it's not going to work.
You need to stop with destroying pertinent information that's important for the people who
now
vote.
You're playing the victim,
90%,
which is a part of your
Democrat
deflection
Party
game, and I'm already hip to it. So stop all of that. I was simply telling my brother that from our conversation, I can tell you got gaps in your information about what happened. You're asking me questions about why the FBI and why didn't he do this. The information is all out there. And I can tell that you're getting caught up with these conservative channels and you're not really getting
okay, so let me ask you this. Mr. Heavily Informed, let me ask you just one question. Did the president request National Guard for the day he was going to give that speech on January 6th down the street from the Capitol?
You talking about President Trump?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Oh, see, now you don't know.
Well, that's the difference between you and me. When I don't know something, I admit it.
No,
I never front like I know something that I don't.
Ivy, listen, sir. The president cannot call up the National Guard.
So you need an answer to the question when you ask me.
No, I'm asking you your level of information, since you're telling me I don't know shit based on the fact that I watch.
I never said
you
that.
Said I only watch Fox News.
I just said that I can tell you
getting your information. You need to read more.
I never said you're deflecting by playing the victim again. You're deflecting by playing
You
the
making
victim
me a
again.
victim.
No,
You
nobody
telling
can
me
make you.
that
Look
I
at
am
you
being
saying you're making
victimized
me
by
a
Fox
victim. I
News.
can't make you a victim. Stop it.
Yes, you are.
Stop it.
Mr. Ivy, you said I'm being victimized by the information that's being disseminated by conservative media and Fox News. That is what
Incorrect.
you
That's
said.
not what I said. I never said you were victimized. What I said is I said that you're getting a one-sided, distorted view of what's out there. That's what I said. And I mean that. I ain't joking.
So if the information that's coming from Fox is one-sided and distorted, then what's the other side and what's the clear news? Where's that at? Where you get that at? It ain't at CNN. It ain't at MSNBC. Where I get that news at, Nate? Where you
I'm
get
your
that?
brother.
You gotta let me know.
I'm your brother. I just don't want my
Bro,
brother
you
out here
can't-
sounding and looking crazy.
Mr.
I'm
Ivy,
your brother.
Mr. Ivy, in 2022, you are going to appear on the Black Not Democrat podcast just as a regular citizen. You ain't no CEO. You ain't no black on. You just a regular concerned citizen, and you gonna be a guest on my show because I have a segment that I call John B. Public, and that's you, John Black Public. I want your opinion on these topics.
Any day,
so
brother.
I can control. Really?
This ain't
Everybody,
really about
y'all heard it.
control. I don't control anything that comes out of your mouth.
Yes,
you can say whatever you want to say.
When you ask those questions at the end, that's how you control it, sir.
I'm going to ask
Talk
you the
radio,
same type
Nate.
of questions when I come on your show. I'm coming with that same energy. Ain't going to be no different. You ain't going to get nothing different when I come on your show. You going to get the same energy. I ain't going to change up.
No, I'm saying I want you to get into what you know, your information that you know. Because you ain't telling us. All you telling me is how screwed up and slanted and one-sided it is on conservatives. So if you only listen to conservatives to see what the enemy is doing, then tell me the information that you're getting from your media that you listen to.
It would be my privilege to appear on your show, brother. Any day, anytime. It would be my privilege. It would be an honor. I would most certainly do that. But I'm bringing the same. Just know what you're getting. You're getting the same energy. Ain't nothing changing.
Okay, well, no, I want to hear the cussing because you don't cuss too much on your show. Every now and then you'll get into it, but you be holding back. Oh, I know you from the streets, Mr. Ivy. I know you can play the dozens. I know, man, you got it all in you. I can see you. That's why I like messing with you, sir. It was something, like I said, in your delivery, in your brash delivery, and your flows. And you've never debated me back and forth. You always trying to set me up with other people. But see, I want me and you to go one-on-one.
That's never happened.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, again, Mr. Ivy, like I said, this January 6th thing is going to go on and on and on all the way into the 2022 campaign because that's all the Democrats have. It's just like all they had was Russia, Russia, Russia. So we'll see. We'll see if the motivation and the trust and the belief in the Democrat Party is going to be there with their black constituents because the polling does not indicate that. I'm sure things can change. But thank you, Mr. Ivy.
Thank you, sir.
I am no longer able to answer any more questions. But you know I love you, sir. You know I love your show. And you know I love participating. So on that note, drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to fact check it. Be safe in the streets, shoppers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for the call. That's my brother right there. Don't ever get it twisted. That's my brother. We ain't got no issues. Me and Fame, we ain't got no issues. Those my brothers. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the oldest. This is regular for me. You know what I'm saying? Regular, degular. This ain't no different. You know, I'm the kind of person that if we got a relationship, we can go hard. We get over it. I ain't got no hard feelings. When I get off the air here, I don't take nothing with me. I don't hold on to no shit. I say what I got to say. Leave it just like that. But I got to make a move, family. Thank you so much for being here. Let me throw my email address out there one more time. If you're interested, we are in the early beginnings. I'm no expert, but I like the idea. I want to help bring it to fruition of an investment club. And who better than, the choppers? You know what I'm saying? Choppers support choppers. Let's do that in a very meaningful way. So if you're interested, in no way is this a financial commitment. This is no commitment whatsoever, but I'm interested in narrowing down and speaking directly to the people who are interested. There are some things that as we start this, we can't say in public. right? And there's some things in conversation we only have with the people that's involved with it. And so I'm still in the process of figuring out what it looks like that I can present it to you and you can accept it or not accept it based upon your comfortability and still learning a little bit. I just feel like when you're going to do something like this and involve with other people, you should do it very seriously. But since I brought this up a week ago, I wanted to make sure that I at least opened the door so I could figure out who was involved, who wanted to be involved, um, and and start those lists so that when we build out what this looks like, and it don't have to be no super big thing. A lot of people do investment clubs with their family and friends, but we all friendly, but we're not family biologically. Some folks are in different cities. I want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable, right? You know where your money's going. You know everything's honest. And let me put it that way. That everything's honest and above board. Because my name is on the line. This is very important. And so if you're interested, just email me and just say, hey, Nate, I want to be in. I'm interested, but in the subject line, put investment. That way, when I get the emails, you know how you can see the subject line. I know exactly who it is. I don't have to actually read the email. I know who you are. I can put everybody in a certain folder. And that way, when it's time to contact you and I've got something to actually say to you, I can do it very easily. All right. So if you're interested, there's my personal email address and how you can be involved. All right. Before we roll out of here, just one more word from our sponsor. Don't forget the good folks over at Renew Community Church. They do a Sunday morning master class that's led by Charlie Winburn every Sunday at 11:45 a.m. This Sunday's topic: learn how to feel good and attract money, health, new relationships, jobs, contracts, and business opportunities in 2022. If you're interested, they also have a free ebook available, and perhaps you can sign up to get business coaching. So you might be an entrepreneur, you might even be new to the city, figuring out what's the lay of the land, or maybe you just feel like you want to try something different. Go to renewcommunitychurch.org and sign up for a free ebook and coaching. If you want to watch the stream, and again, this is free, you can tap in on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. And if you're more Facebook centric, go to facebook.com/Cincy Renew. That's CINCI Renew. All right. Viva La Chapas, all great calls, all great calls. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to my guest this morning. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Nobody does anything by themselves. Anything worth doing, it's going to be a team behind it. And you are the team. We are a team together in this. And I really appreciate you. So have an excellent rest of your day, family. We'll catch up real soon. Monday morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Don't forget Straight Talk Live coming up on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And of course, Melanin Insights Sunday evening at 5:30 p.m. Have an excellent weekend. Be safe. I wish you nothing but success. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.